The story opens on a beautiful girl named Chani, standing in a dim, gloomy dungeon. "Consider me your master," she declares. "Not this Felicite dukedom, but me." This kid's name is Rodion, the most beautiful and powerful Noma. Chani had her reasons for seeking out and attempting to sway this particular Noma. Rodion looked at her and said, "I won't acknowledge someone weaker than me as my master." Chani was taken aback. What? Before she met Rodion, our protagonist had gone to see her father, taking advantage of a recent meritorious achievement and her birthday. Her father began, "You've been a great help to the family lately. Tell me, what do you want for your birthday?" He looked at her, thinking, she really does look like her mother. Chani paused, then spoke with a serious tone. "The gift I want for my birthday is the key to the underground laboratory." Her father was astonished. "Do you know what kind of place that laboratory is?" Chani replied, "Yes, father. I'm a Felicite, so of course I know. The underground laboratory, although it's called a research lab, it's actually where the Noma are kept, the Felicite family's living weapons. And the strongest Noma there is Rodion. He's also known as the male lead of the novel, Dancing in the Summer Night. To add to that, I've been reincarnated into the body of the Felicite family's eldest daughter, the villainous Chani. Nothing new, really. I've lost count of how many times I've been ice-skied. And into the villainous role, no less, facing the most tragic ending in every single novel. Earlier, a goddess had appeared, saying, "Because you, the reincarnator, keep dying, I can't finish my work. I thought you'd last longer this time, but you died again." Chani snapped, "No. At least explain why you brought me here and made me do all these things." The goddess interrupted, "Reincarnator, this truly is your last chance." Chani brightened. "Last, reincarnated into someone with an incurable disease, dying without even being able to leave my bed. I tried to fake my death and escape, but I really died. This agonizing life, repeating over and over, is it finally ending?" The goddess sighed. "Don't celebrate too soon. Do you know what will happen if you fail?" Chani asked hesitantly, "What will happen?" The goddess waved her hand dismissively. "Better not to say. Lord Padion will be furious. Terribly so. Everything will be destroyed. To avoid annihilation, I'll prepare many things, praying that this reincarnation will be a success. I've helped you remember the original story, and you can use the abilities of the protagonist you've been reincarnated as before. So you absolutely must succeed this time." Well then, Chani thought, "I'll survive no matter what." Through the powers bestowed upon her by the angel, Chani Felicite, in the novel, was the main reason the male lead went mad. There was no other way but to rewrite the story. Back in the present, Chani's father boomed, "You don't know how dangerous those beings are." Well, of course you don't. You've lived like a flower in a greenhouse. How could you know about a world like a war zone? Chani replied, "I know, father. That's why, to prevent the male lead from turning evil, and to avoid my own death, they are monsters personally chosen by you. So of course they are strong and dangerous. They are living weapons who would die for the Felicite family. Of course, I'm also a member of the Felicite family, father," Chani said, her voice trembling slightly. This scene took place in a timeline before she was reincarnated into the novel. "Yes, I didn't know you would become the crown prince." Rodion drew his sword. "Are you saying that now to justify yourself?" Chani quickly embraced Rodion's legs. "I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Rodion." He replied, "No, you don't need to apologize." The words had barely left his lips when a stream of crimson blood erupted. Rodion, holding Chani's severed head, declared, "I will chase you down to hell itself." Back in the present, Chani's maid inquired, "My lady, do you like it?" Chani thought to herself, "I tried to imagine how I would die, but the vivid imagery startled me. Disgusting. He cut off my head and then says he'll chase me to hell." Leaning back, she asked, "Daisy, have you heard anything about my birthday present?" "It's already been a day." Daisy replied, "His Grace must discuss it with Master Eric." Suddenly, the door burst open. Finally, Chani thought. It was Eric, the Duke's adopted son, and Chani's non-blood-related younger brother. Seeing him barge in, Chani admonished, "How rude. You burst into my room without even knocking." Eric strode towards Daisy. "I need to speak with the lady privately. You may leave." Though slightly apprehensive, Chani instructed Daisy to leave. Once alone, she questioned, "What's the matter?" Eric snapped, What's the matter? What did you ask for as a birthday present? Have you gone mad? Even if you are the disgrace of our family, you should still have some shame. You've been quiet lately, so I thought you'd come to your senses." but it seems you were just thinking about which man to drag around and play with in such a vulgar manner. Chani's anger flared. Vulgar. You barge into my room without knocking, and then you dare to lecture me without any sense of propriety. You are the vulgar one. Eric stammered, "WH what?" Chani continued, "Now that you understand, get out. Do I need to explain myself further? Look at your wavering eyes." Memories flooded back like a spreading ripple. Chani recalled the events of the past. Chani, greet him. This is the son of a comrade who fought alongside me in the war. Considering my loyalty to Lep, I couldn't just stand by and do nothing. From today onwards, we will live together as a family. All right, that's enough welcoming for now. Butler, prepare a meal. This is the children's first meal at the mansion, so make sure they eat their fill. Does the young miss have a favorite dessert? Luna, her eyes sparkling. Sister, you smell so sweet and nice. The maid chuckled. Oh my, is that so? I just baked a lemon cake. Luna replied, lemon cakes sound delicious. Does his grace like cake too? I want to make one for him. Asterisk, that's commendable. Make whatever you like. From now on, this is your home too. Chani, observing from above, thought to herself, just by smiling, that child is everyone charmed. They don't like me, but they're friendly to that beggar. Because I'm the evil woman who killed mother. Is that why father never hugs me like that? Eric approached and said, Sister, do you always have that expression? Or are you making on purpose? How should I put it? It's really depressing. Chani scowled. Even the fact that he doesn't know his place. This impertinent brat has been depressing from the start. Back in the present, as Eric was talking to Chani, they overheard a conversation from outside. A maid said, I heard that the young master, Benio, is going to hold a party to choose a wife, isn't he? Luna quickly retorted, I told you I'm not getting married, and I'll live with the Duke and my brother forever. Are you still half asleep? Even so, don't be so loud. The maid continued, Honestly, miss, how long are you going to worry about the Duchess's opinion? Don't say that. The wound the young master inflicted on her hasn't healed yet. I don't want to see her heartbroken. The maid went on, but Miss is more suited to be the next Grand Duchess than the Duchess. Luna sighed. All right. Let's not talk about that anymore. Let's go choose some tea leaves to brew tea for the Duke. Chani, watching from inside, thought to herself, deliberately coming here to make a racket, so I can hear, huh? How childish and dull. Who are they trying to fool? At that moment, Eric crossed his arms. Even the servants are saying it, so it's your fault, Chani. Don't take your anger out on Luna. Chani was so taken aback by the absurdity of it all that she couldn't speak. What are you talking about? Control your expressions. A miss is as good as a mile. Chani's face was impassive, devoid of emotion. She finally spoke. The time you spend lecturing me, you should spend caring for your sister, Eric. The standards of servants are different from the standards of their masters. Technically, you and Luna are also members of the Felicite dukedom. Ah, of course, although you don't actually carry the Felicite blood like I do. Eric cut her off. Stop being arrogant. Just obediently follow father's orders. Chani thought to herself, since this is my last chance, I don't want to cause a scene. It's not like I've only been playing the villainess for a day or two. I need to stick to the ironclad rules I've established, starting with putting those annoying obstacles in their place. This much should be enough to restore order. Now, let's get down to business. Rodian, minus the R, I'm coming. Chani stood up, arms crossed. Take me to the underground laboratory. Eric frowned. Don't regret this. Chani thought, strange. I thought he'd argue when I mentioned bloodlines. Whatever happens later, I won't help you. Then Eric used a key and something shimmered into existence. Chani was surprised. So that key allows free access to the basement from anywhere. I have to get my hands on that first. Eric said, all right, father only gave me one order. To lead you to the basement level where that Noma is. Meaning, finding him down there is your job. Chani spotted the stairs leading down to the basement and proceeded without listening to what Eric was saying. Upon descending, she was a little taken aback. Since I heard it was a basement, I imagined a dark, cobweb-filled place. It seems tidier and better than I thought. Eric, still walking beside her, said, Do you even know where you're going, just heading straight down like that? A man approached them. Master Eric, you've arrived. I've gathered all the researchers and trainers as you commanded, but who is this? A man asked. Only His Grace and Master Eric are permitted in this area. Eric replied, I forgot to explain. His Grace has personally given a gift to Lady Chani. Among the monsters within, there's a plaything my sister desires. Murmurs rippled through the assembled group. Good heavens, so that woman is the Lady Chani. What kind of gift? Isn't the relationship between His Grace and the lady rather strained? Eric leaned in close to Chani, a smirk playing on his lips. Well, Chani, why don't you go and find it? Though I doubt you'll manage on your own. Chani recoiled, her expression hardening. Don't come near me. It's disgusting. Chani thought to herself, I wondered why there were so many people here if it wasn't a welcoming ceremony. It seems they intend to supervise me to ensure I receive no assistance. Staring like that is hardly endearing. If they've made such thorough preparations, there's no way this gift is kept somewhere obvious. Their incessant chatter is making it difficult to concentrate. Should I review the novel's plot again? Rodian's location in the original story, perhaps it was the Red Oath. The Red Oath. What if that red curtain embroidered with a family crest isn't a coincidence? Perhaps Rodian is right in front of me. There's no way I wouldn't know. What does it feel like to be hidden alone in the deepest, darkest place? I thought if I lifted this curtain, I would meet Rodian, but was I wrong? Eric's voice cut through her thoughts. Be careful, sister. What if you run into a wall? I was wondering why he'd say something like that. But it seems only this wall has a different weight to it. If I were Chani, I wouldn't have the strength to destroy this wall. But if I were Rebecca, the angel said I could use all of her powers. The type of novel I transmigrated into, with Rebecca as the protagonist, is the kind where power struggles are paramount. To survive as a villainess in that world, I need at least this much power. Seeing this, Eric gasped, Chani, what if you get hurt? Chani laughed, a sharp edge to her voice. Thanks to that, I found it, Eric. If you're going to use such blatant tricks, control your mouth better next time. I almost ran into a wall, you know. Time for the main event. I finally get to meet Rodian. Wow, he really is breathtaking. I've transmigrated into dozens of novels, but this is the first time I've seen such stunning beauty. How can someone who looks like an angel become a madman? Moreover, I just made such a racket, and he's still sleeping soundly, as if dead. He isn't ill, is he? It's too quiet. What's this? White powder. Was it mixed into his food? Could they be drugging him because they don't want to give him to me? Eric approached. What are you doing? You've been so docile until now. Why this sudden arrogance? Has the desire for the heir's position finally taken hold? If not, are you planning to take this handsome Noma as your plaything? Chani retorted, how utterly vile, Eric. Sister, what are you saying? First, Chani decided to correct his manners. Shut your mouth, she snapped. Your foul words are irritating me. Have you truly lost your mind, sister? Let go of me. How can a girl be this strong? Chani delivered a sharp kick to his leg. Chani, are you insane? You're the crazy one. Who told you to touch me? Eric roared at Chani. Eric, Chani interrupted, her voice dangerously low. Don't you dare raise your voice at me. Do you want me to rip your tongue out so you can sober up? Chani's attention shifted to Rodian. The anesthetic seemed to be wearing off. He appeared to be struggling to wake, his brow furrowed, yet his features still held an angelic beauty. The original novel's description of him was spot on. Rodian, at this point, was still just a boy. Chani approached him. Hello, Rodian. Since he's still young, he'd probably like candy, right? If you haven't forgotten me, I'll give you 2 pieces next time. Eric, still behind her, continued. You're acting strange, sister. Why are you doing things you've never done before? You're being really weird. Just act normal. Chani's voice hardened. I think you have a serious misunderstanding. Even if I desire someone, or am aiming for the position of family heir, what business is it of yours? I'm not your real sister. Why don't you know your place? Rodian slowly regained consciousness. It's so noisy. What are they arguing about? And what's this? Candy. Chani punched Eric in the face. Rodian thought to himself, sweet. She said she'd give me 2 of these. I should have said I didn't need any, but it seemed like it would be more troublesome if I did, so I pretended to be asleep. Time passed. Sipping her tea, Chani mused. After being beaten like that, Eric probably won't take me down to the laboratory again. I have to get the key, no matter what. It seems the only way is to get the key from the Duke. Since there are 2 keys, Duke Romeo, a soldier who fought his way to become the supreme commander of the Imperial Army. He may have been the strongest soldier in the war, but he lacks knowledge of politics, family matters, and even financial management. On the other hand, I've used the memories from my past lives to manage the family business. Every business I've touched has turned to gold. They call me the Midas touch. So wouldn't it be enough to just earn a lot of money, win him over, and get the key? At that moment, Chani's maid approached and exclaimed, my lady. Look at this. An invitation from young Master Etherio Benio has arrived. It's a large-scale banquet, so most of the nobles are invited, but you've been looking forward to it, haven't you? You've sent so many letters, but there's been no reply, and you've been so upset. This might be a chance to talk to him. Chani replied, just throw it away. Daisy was taken aback. What? What do you mean? Chani continued, I have more important things to do. I'll be dining with the family tonight. Daisy asked hesitantly, what? Are you sure, my lady? Yes. So prepare my clothes. The scene shifted to another location. Luna said, the cake I made this time is perfect. Everyone praised it. I just made it this afternoon. What do you think, brother? You think so too, right? Eric, his face bruised, replied, did you really make it yourself? I'm sure everyone helped you, right? What? You're only saying that because it's delicious, aren't you? Duke Romeo spoke up, but Eric, what happened to your face? Eric answered, oh, I was careless during training. Make sure you prioritize safety, Eric. You must always be careful. Suddenly, a voice interrupted. Excuse me, am I late? Chani entered from outside. Chani, you're wearing that dress again. It seems father still remembers, doesn't he? The one with the hand-embroidered details on the hem. He resents his daughter because his wife died after giving birth to her. This is the dress the late Duchess left behind, but it still looks magnificent even now. Portraits of the Duchess hung everywhere in the manor. Chani said, this is the dress mother left me. Romeo's face hardened. Yes, and it's not a dress to be worn on ordinary occasions. Chani smiled, but my birthday is coming soon. Chani's birthday was also the anniversary of the Duchess's death, so the Duke was sure to be furious at her words. Are you protesting, demanding I remember your birthday? Indeed, he was furious. Everything was going according to Chani's plan. The Duke continued to bellow. I even accepted your absurd request for a birthday cake. What more do you want? Luna spoke up. It's been a while since you've dined with us, Your Grace. Please, don't be like this. Birthdays only come once a year, so she must want to receive your blessing, Your Grace. Eric chimed in, just sit still. She's just causing a scene to demand presents. But, brother, Chani clicked her tongue inwardly. How childish. I only said a few words, and they're already in chaos. So, this is how they've been silencing me all along. Aloud, she said, no, father. This time, I just want a peaceful birthday. Because my birthday and mother's death anniversary are on the same day, I haven't been able to properly commemorate her. So, for this birthday, I want to remember my mother. Father, I'm not a fool. I know everyone calls me a jinx because I killed my mother by being born. You're right, father. I was being childish. I believed and waited for you to tell everyone that I didn't kill mother. Perhaps because I was young, I wanted that reassurance. The Duke, looking at her, was reminded of his late wife. My husband, you are a good husband, so you must also be a good father to our child. I believe in you. Chani continued, but I don't believe in that anymore. After all, you can't give me what I truly desire. Now that you understand what I mean, I'm hungry. May I sit? The Duke replied, yes, sit down. Silence fell. Then the Duke cleared his throat. Is the food to your liking? Everyone was surprised by the Duke's concern. Perhaps he did care for Chani after all. Chani replied, yes, father. The soup is delicious. Eric immediately interrupted. Your Grace, have you made a decision about the investment in the jewelry store? Luna added, is that the one you were talking about before, Eric? About finding land for a new shop. Chani thought, interrupting me. Such petty tactics. And Luna knows about this too. I really am being left out. Eric continued, yes, that's the one. I think Taka is more suitable than Bethlehem. Oh, right? Luna, you frequent Taka, so you must know it better. What do you think of that location? Luna replied, I also think Taka would be better. It connects to the plaza and the main road, so it's easily accessible. I thought you only knew how to shop, but it seems you're quite observant, he remarked. Well, you know I'm always meticulous when it comes to the plaza, Chani replied. Inwardly, she scoffed. They're really putting on a show, aren't they? Impressive effort. But unfortunately, I read the source material before coming here. Duke Romeo spoke. This still requires further discussion, but if you both agree, we'll look into Taka. Chani seized the opportunity. No, father, I object. Haven't you heard the rumors? They say the Bethlehem district will be renovated into a royal resort. Furthermore, she continued, the prayer house of the temple will be relocated to Taka. So there's talk that the royal family will dismantle the current commercial area to develop a new one. This was future knowledge gleaned from the novel, making it a certainty in Chani's mind. Eric countered, royal business dealings are kept confidential until an official announcement. We can't determine store locations based on rumors. Duke Romeo concurred, Eric is right. Chani took a sip of wine, thinking, right? I'm not saying this for you to believe me. What I need isn't blind faith, but the money that will end up in my hands. Aloud, she said, then I'll invest in the Bethlehem district in your stead, father. The inheritance grandfather left me is still in the bank. The rumors I've heard are quite accurate, so if the investment is under my name, you won't suffer any losses, father. Duke Romeo pondered for a moment. Very well, he conceded. It's best to start with a small amount to learn the ropes. More importantly, I want to commend your confidence and ambition. A member of the Felici family should possess such decisiveness. Sometime later, the conversation concluded. Back in her room, Chawnee's maid, Daisy, observed, "You seem very pleased, Mississippi." "Do I?" Chawnee asked. "Is it that obvious? Last night was quite enjoyable." "How could it not be?" She mused. Earlier, her father had asked, "But Felici, we can't just offer praise. Is there a reward you desire?" Chawnee had seized the golden opportunity. "Well, if I had to choose something right now, I want that." And just like that, she thought triumphantly, "I've acquired the key to the laboratory I've been longing for. I thought it would be impossible to get it until the investment was finalized, but it fell into my hands more easily than expected. Now, all that's left is to get Rodion." The scene shifted to Rodion, who was being assaulted by a man. "You filthy monster," the man snarled. "Today, I'll turn this place into your personal hell." Rodion thought defiantly, delusional. "Who do you think could save a wretch like me?" Chawnee witnessed the scene, her good mood momentarily forgotten. "What in the world are you doing?" she demanded. The man stammered, "My lady, what are you doing here?" Chawnee's anger flared. "Are you so dense you can't understand me? I told you not to touch my things." Sweat beaded on the man's forehead. "My lady, how did you get in here?" "How?" Chawnee retorted. "Is that your answer to my question?" His eyes landed on the key in her hand, and his face paled. The key to the underground laboratory. Damn it. So the rumors are true. The Felici heiress really is going to take Rodion. Moreover, that woman will become the mistress of the Duke's manor. Lord Eric ordered me to keep watch over this Noma, so he wouldn't do anything useless. If that rumor is true, I'll be the first to die. No, wait. If I can get through this situation, Lord Eric will protect me. He quickly explained, "I think there's a misunderstanding. I was just training him." "Huh. I'll give you another chance. Explain the situation clearly. Why is Rodion bleeding?" "As I said, I'm re-educating him. It's a way to strengthen Noma's bodies. It's the training method used here, which Lord Eric, who commands this place below, also knows. Lord Eric never interferes with the training process, so Lady Chawnee shouldn't either." Chawnee didn't waste any more words and promptly gave him a sound beating. "Why do you look so flustered? You said this was the method used down here in the basement. What's your name?" The man stammered, "J. John." "All right, John. Seeing as you're so good at following the rules, you must be intelligent, so you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm the only daughter of the Felici family." John thought in agony. Her grip is so strong. "My jaw is going to break." Chawnee continued, "I'll give you a chance to demonstrate your intelligence and talent. By the time I return, all the wounds you inflicted must be completely healed. If you understand, get out. There's a darling waiting for my greeting." "Oh dear." He doesn't seem pleased that I called him darling. He even frowned. "Hello, Rodion. You haven't forgotten me, have you? I told you I keep my word. Here, 2 candies. Rodion replied, "I don't need them. Just say what you want." Looking at him, Chawnee thought I didn't look closely before and thought he was just a child. Such cold, emotionless eyes. Instead of just sweet candies, I should give Rodion what he truly needs. Aloud, she said, "All right then, let's make a deal." Rodion asked, "Who do you want me to kill?" Chawnee replied, "No one. You don't have to kill anyone. I just want to give you the best, and I'll make sure no one bullies you again." Rodion remained motionless, seemingly unconvinced. Chawnee continued, "So, serve me as your master. Not the ducal house of Felici, but me alone." Rodion was silent for a moment, then said, "I will not serve someone weaker than me as a master. So, I won't serve a human as a master." Chawnee thought, he thinks he's the strongest. How confident. Rodion continued, "Although I don't know what you want by coming here directly. If you're looking for a plaything, you'd best not." "Rodion, you're overthinking it." "All right, take your time to think about what I've said. In the meantime, I'll help you survive this place." Rodion thought, what is she talking about? Try to lure me in with just a candy. What you nobles want is clear, a slave with terrifying power, hoping for loyalty until death. She thinks she's bought my life with 2 candies. Chawnee said, "So what do you think? Though you're in prison now, one day I truly will give you your freedom." Rodion mused, that selfish greed, that pitiful human trying to defy what the gods possess. Love, taken to the point of risking one's life, is no different from a religion. No human can truly give another freedom. One who cannot save themselves, how can they save another? How can I faithfully offer my body until death to such a fragile human? The scene shifted. "It's not too late, my lady. Would you like to send a reply?" "What? What are you talking about? What else is there?" "I'm referring to the invitation from young Master Benio." Atherbinio, the young master of the Binio family, loyal to his gentle and sweet nature, renowned for his kindness. He's the sort who would soothe a crying child while passing by. Appearance and personality in perfect accord. Chani cut her off. Just do your job, Daisy. The scene shifted to Binio. His servant spoke. I have gathered all the RSVPs for the welcoming banquet you sent out, sir. The only blemish on the heir of the Binio family, untouched by the founding god, is that he was the fiancé of the villainous Chani. Naturally, the Binio family, with its shield, under that name, must remain flawless. The family name cannot be sullied by this superficial engagement. The engagement ring has been completely shattered, never to be mended. Now that the engagement with the Felici family has been annulled, we must find another young lady of equal standing. His servant continued, Luna. She is the adopted daughter of the Felici family. Though she doesn't bear the Felici name, she is deeply cherished by the Duke. Binio looked at the letters, but it seems one is missing. Did you intentionally leave it out? The servant beside him quickly replied, No, sir. This is all of them. Binio looked at the servant. How can that be? Where is Chani's reply? Ah, Lady Chani Felici did not send a reply, sir. Impossible. Even while I was away, I received a barrage of letters from her, begging me to reconsider the annulment. How could she not have sent an RSVP? His servant thought for a moment. Perhaps she has forgotten you, sir. I also found it strange not to receive a reply. But hasn't it been nearly a month since Lady Felici last sent you a letter? Forgotten. Who? Chani forgot me. On the contrary, that's even better. The problem has resolved itself. Honestly, I'm relieved. If I had to describe Chani's love with one word, it would be swamp. Unwilling to die alone, she clung to my leg, refusing to let go. A suffocating grip. A tedious swamp. That Chani Felici. How dare she? It's a truly unpleasant feeling. The scene shifted to John. He was speaking. How did Lady Chani get the key to the underground laboratory? No. How did she manage to put Rhodey to sleep? Even 3 strong young men couldn't approach him without the drug. Yet that woman was alone with him, unarmed, let alone with any drugs. Eric asked, Chani put Rhodey to sleep. John replied, yes, and soundly too. You know that bastard would be vomiting blood without the drug. There's no way he could sleep otherwise. Could it be that the lady's powers have manifested? Eric asked, surprised. Powers? What powers does Chani possess? That day in the basement, she declared it, that she was the only daughter of the Felici family. The Meteora Empire formed after the goddess sealed away and destroyed the Demon King. At that time, the 3 spirit masters who followed the goddess became the first heads of the founding noble families recorded in history. The Rixon royal family, signifying the golden sword. The Binio dukedom with the shield. The Felici dukedom with the bow and arrow. What are you trying to say? Even the royal family lost their spirit powers long ago, and yet you're claiming Chani Felici possesses them. If she had such power, why would the Duke treat her as if she didn't exist until now? Why would he adopt me and Luna? There's no way Chani could have such special abilities. You have eyes, you can see it. She possesses only one thing. A beauty so intense, it's almost obscene. That's all there is to it, so rest assured. The scene shifts to Chani. Daisy speaks, but miss, it's young Master Binio. Chani cuts her off, enough. You're just trying to avoid work by chattering, aren't you? Daisy hesitates. That's not it. Mississippi fine, I'll believe you for your own sake. Binio and I have nothing to do with each other anymore, so don't worry about it, and just do what I asked. Yes, but what is it you want to do, Mississippi? This. It's candy. Daisy is puzzled. Candy, miss? Yes, candy. Or, to be more precise, medicine in the form of candy. I will kill the fake prince and reclaim my position. That was the title of the novel I transmigrated into before. There, I was the little prince's pharmacist. Under the male lead's orders, I was responsible for slowly poisoning the prince to death. And the moment I transmigrated was when they were giving the little prince the medicine to kill him. What's wrong, doctor? There's no prince who hates bitter things, is there? Give it to me. I'll close my eyes and swallow it. Why did those words sound like he was prepared to drink poison and die? After that, I made an antidote that tasted like candy or chocolate. Unfortunately, after the prince survived, the male lead killed me, so I don't know what happened afterward. Thanks to that, I can give Rodian the antidote and pretend it's candy. Chani turns to Daisy. I made some for you too. Candy. I don't even know what I like anymore. You just put seaweed roots in it, miss. No, it's not candy. Whenever you feel itchy, just apply it and it will help a lot. How could I accept this from you, miss? Thank you so much, Mississippi. What is this? I thought it was medicine. but it makes my hands softer like using a magic stone. Plus, it smells heavenly. Mississippi. I noticed the maid's hands were rough, so I made it myself. I made a few boxes, so share them with the other maids. So the light in your room was on so late because you were making this for us. Miss, why didn't you give it to the Duke? You seemed so happy after having dinner with him. I thought you were finally bonding with him. I'm sorry if that sounded strange. Chani approaches and comforts her. It's all right. You must have been worried, haven't you? It's all the better, since I've always liked simple-minded people. Daisy is surprised, seeing her smile so brightly for the first time. Yes, Miss Chani, I am such a fool. Miss, I only applied it 30 minutes ago, and look, the scratch on my hand has completely disappeared. You really didn't give any to the Duke. I bet Miss Chani would be praised if you did. Daisy chirped. What for? Chani replied, a hint of disdain in her voice. He has plenty of panaceas. Magic stones, the ones touted as cure-alls. Miss Chani, really, who would use a magic stone for chapped hands? Daisy exclaimed. You're right. Another maid, presumably John or Eric, chimed in. There's no need to use magic stones for something so trivial. They're incredibly expensive. That's because the side effect from using such expensive healing powers are significant. I heard the Duke suffered terrible side effects after using a magic stone to heal his war wounds. Yes, the side effects. Her Majesty the Empress hasn't been seen in public lately. It's rumored it's due to the side effects of magic stones. Chani's voice held a note of curiosity. Her Majesty. Daisy, ever the source of gossip, explained, yes, apparently Her Majesty's face has developed red blotches, likely a side effect. This is straight from a close confidant of the Empress, so it's definitely true. But the ointment Miss Chani makes is different. I'm sure the Duke would love it. Chani mused, perhaps you're right. It wouldn't hurt. His hands do look rather rough. A little hand cream could go a long way in improving his opinion of me. A thought struck Chani. Hand cream, the ingredients used to make the ointment. Linden flowers act as an antiseptic. Cinnamon and vetiver are excellent cleansers. Orange peel is rich in vitamins, a natural skin remedy. I have a feeling it seems my golden touch is destined for greater things. Daisy spoke up. I don't mean to compare, but Lady Luna usually picks tea leaves every week to give to the Duke. This ointment is much better than tea leaves, so I'm sure the Duke will. Chani suddenly stood up. Luna, Chani thought, the heroine of this novel. She's supposed to be kind, but it seems she's trying to obstruct me. Sometimes she's loud, as if deliberately letting me hear things, and other times she's silent. I haven't seen Luna lately. Let me help you, miss, Daisy offered. I bet she's busy preparing for the Benio family's welcome banquet. All the shops in the capital are making dresses for it. Rumor has it, it'll be the grandest banquet in recent memory. You were so upset when young Master Benio broke off the engagement. Daisy's voice softened. I'm so proud of you, Miss Chani. I really like you. So what I mean is, both the Duke and young Master Benio probably just don't understand you yet. Chani spoke, her voice firm. I won't attend Benio's banquet. If he personally knelt and delivered an invitation, I might reconsider. I don't want Benio to understand me anyway. It would disappoint Daisy. Should I tell father? Chani mused aloud. Daisy, ever eager, responded, of course. Let's go tell him right now. Oh no, wait. Let's change your dress first, Mississippi. Even though it's the middle of the night. Chani interrupted. Daisy will visit father after I wake up. So, go fetch a box for the ointment to make it a proper gift. And pick some wildflowers on the way. Daisy sounded puzzled. A box and wildflowers. Isn't that too simple? Chani replied. Simple is better. I think father will appreciate it. If you say so, Mississippi. So, I just need to get one box of ointment as a gift, and then divide the rest among the other servants, right? No, Chani corrected. 2 boxes. One for father, and the other I need for something else. Chani then descended to the basement. The 2 guards stationed there, seeing her, questioned Lady Chani, why are you here again so late? Not seeing John, Chani inquired, aren't you supposed to be on duty with Training Officer John tonight? They stammered, well, John isn't feeling well today. He had to go to training. Chani's brow furrowed in annoyance. They hastily added, Lady Chani, it's not like that. John is now. Wait a moment. Chani fixed them with a sharp look. I heard John say the rules of the basement laboratory are quite lax. She thought to herself, I came down here to apply some medicine to Rudian while he slept. It seems John couldn't stand it and ran to tattle to Eric. Like a tiger leaving its den to become king, taking advantage of his father's absence to run the underground laboratory as he pleases. John is as foolish as I thought. Chani spoke aloud. When John arrives, tell him I came to see Rudian again, and that I checked him from head to toe for any injuries. After hearing Chani's words, the guards whispered to each other, "Isn't this too dangerous? If something happens to her down there, won't we be in trouble? Why don't we stop her?" No, the more frightened she is, the less likely she'll come down here again. Besides, even if we die here, it's that monster's fault, not ours. Chani reached out and touched Rudian's face. There's still some scars here. If you repeat the same tasks every day, the days become shorter. You must be bored, cooped up in this tiny room, never seeing the sun rise, just letting time slip by. Rudian, you live a meaningless, repetitive existence. My two lives have overlapped so much that my first name, Li Young, is fading away. Is our existence any different from being chained up, imprisoned in our own minds? I feel the same way. Like you, I'm sick of it. You told me to say what I wanted. I just want to live. That's all. Rudian, you will escape this basement and become the heir to the throne. If I don't want my throat slit in revenge, I have to help you. This time, I truly want to live out my lifespan and escape this tedious world. So, do your best until then. With that, she turned and left, leaving the two guards at the door bewildered. Lady Chani is really gone. How could she enter Rudian's room and walk out unharmed? Strange. How could he sleep without a sedative? Are you sure he was asleep? There was something on his face and down there. Don't tell me Lady Chani actually treated him. How kind. What's so good about that monstrous bastard? As soon as he finished speaking, Rudian swiftly subdued him. The other guard, witnessing his comrade's near-death experience, was terrified and pleaded for his life. Just as he was about to strike, Rudian recalled Chani's words. He paused, then said, "Take him away, before I really kill you." Rudian thought to himself, she's such an eyesore. I need to kill her first. Such a strange, incomprehensible woman. The next morning, at the mansion, the steward presented the Duke with a folder of papers. "Your Grace," he announced, as instructed, "the land in the Balem district has been purchased in Lady Chani's name." The Duke responded, "Is that so?" "Excellent." The steward, a hint of perplexity in his voice, inquired, "But, Your Grace, why would the lady purchase unproductive land in the Balem district? If she wishes to purchase it with her own funds," the Duke replied, "there's no reason to stop her." The steward hesitated. "Indeed, but—" Duke Romeo cut him short. "Who knows? We may think it's barren land, but what if gold sprouts there?" The steward paused, tapping a finger thoughtfully against the papers. "I always assumed the lady had no interest in the family's affairs, but this is surprising. By the way, Your Grace, a rather interesting rumor has been circulating amongst the staff lately." Intrigued, the Duke asked, "An interesting rumor?" "It said the ointment the lady makes for the servants is remarkably effective," the steward explained. "The rumors were so persistent, the head housekeeper even shared some with me to try." He presented his hand. "See, Your Grace, my skin is as smooth as pudding now." The Duke peered at the steward's hand. "Indeed, it does look remarkably smooth." A flicker of surprise crossed the steward's face. "Goodness, Your Grace, haven't you received any from the lady?" The Duke bristled. "I have not." "Perhaps," the steward ventured, "the lady assumed you wouldn't need it, given your access to magic stones. Such a fine thing, and you can't even use it." Now, steward," the Duke sighed dramatically, "you wound me with your teasing. You seem to forget the unpleasant side effects I experience when using magic stones. Is this why they say raising children is a thankless task?" A heavy silence descended upon the room. The steward broke the silence. "Truth be told, Your Grace, Lady Chani practically raised herself. You were constantly on the battlefield, returning only every few years. After the Lady Duchess passed, and you left the estate, rumors began to swirl that the ducal mansion was cursed. In that supposedly cursed mansion," he continued, "the young lady was left utterly alone. Even after your return, your attention was primarily focused on young Master Eric and Lady Luna." The Duke pondered this for a moment. "So, you're saying my lack of ointment is justified. More importantly," he mused, "I wonder if Chani truly did anything to deserve being mocked as a demon. The Red Witch of Felicite. I've heard Siani called that." He slammed his hand on the desk, his voice booming with anger. The audacity to challenge the Felicite family like that. Who dared spread such lies? The Duke's mind flashed back to Siani's words. "Father, I'm not a fool. I know they call me a demon because they say I killed Mother the moment I was born. I believed, I hoped, you would tell me I didn't. A grim expression settled on the Duke's face. What good is realization now? I failed as a father. And so, she refuses to play the role of a daughter. The scene shifted. Thank you, Your Majesty, for granting us, the Benio family, an audience. Quickly, greet His Majesty. May the goddess Thea bless you. I am Arthur, of the Grand Duchy Benio. It's been a while, young master. I can hear the young ladies' excited whispers from here. How old are you this year? I am 18, Your Majesty. So the king mused, 18 years old. If that child were still alive, wouldn't he be about this age too? Your Majesty, if the Benio ducal family were to learn the truth, they wouldn't stand for it. You know as well as I do, they've always had their eyes on the throne. The king thundered. Nevertheless, I cannot simply execute the child my sister bore. Those below murmured amongst themselves. The royal authority can't be undermined just because an unmarried princess bore a child. Moreover, the child's father was the master of the magic tower. Now that the princess has taken her own life and the master of the magic tower has vanished, who will protect that child? Because of that damn Benio, I don't even know if my nephew is alive or dead, while Benio's own son has grown so tall. Returning to the present, the king spoke, well, you're of age to marry. Shouldn't you be considering marriage soon? Furthermore, I hear you've been of great assistance to the Grand Duke in his work. Arthur replied, I still have many shortcomings. I hope Your Majesty will continue to guide me. Indeed, the king said, I hear the Grand Duke is about to hold a welcoming banquet. Arthur responded, yes, Your Majesty. The king continued, the future Grand Duchess may well make an appearance there. Suddenly, someone approached the king's side and said, Your Majesty, I apologize for interrupting this conversation. Then he whispered in the king's ear, Your Majesty, this concerns the resort we're preparing. Someone has purchased more than half of the land we selected in the Balem district. The king asked in astonishment, what? Who? Arthur's father, seeing the king's agitation, thought to himself, the emperor before me isn't easily shaken. What could have happened to cause such a reaction? This seems out of the ordinary. The person beside the emperor said, it's Siani Felicita. Hearing this, the emperor burst into laughter. Ha ha. Arthur's father, with a bright smile, said, Your Majesty, is something amusing you? You just mentioned Lady Felicita. Has something interesting happened? We also have a close connection with Lady Felicita. Arthur's father turned to his son with a serious tone. Isn't that right, Arthur? Arthur nervously replied, yes. Although the engagement was broken off, we were betrothed for a considerable time. The emperor interjected, something rather interesting has just occurred. I'd love to tell you, but if the engagement is broken, it's not exactly a close connection anymore. It wouldn't be appropriate to speak freely about it. If you're so close, why not ask Lady Felicita directly? I must be going. I won't be able to stand it if I don't quickly address this interesting matter. Meanwhile, Siani, the subject of the emperor's interest, was facing a new predicament. The man said his name was Valentine. Valentine, Rudian's closest confidant and principal, was generally considered a capable individual, a useful key for the future. The scene shifted to another location. My lady, this is a training ground, after all. Siani asked angrily, do you have some complaint? The attendant beside her quickly said, no, how could I dare? Then hold the parasol properly. It's getting rather hot. No one knows I'm here, correct? The attendant replied, yes, as you commanded. This is a blind spot. This location cannot be seen from the training grounds. Siani thought to herself, the atmosphere in the underground laboratory has been quite chaotic lately. It's because of the Red Witch's appearance, in a place operated according to the will of the absolute monarch, Lord Eric. Ron, Eric's right-hand man, continued to stir things up, but the trainers weren't fools. There was no reason for them to blindly follow his orders. Eric would be the sole ruler of this underground laboratory. Though Ron insisted on this, suspicion had undoubtedly taken root in everyone's minds, including Ron's own. The underground laboratory belonged to the Felicites. Eric's surname wasn't even Felix the First. Naturally, many were swayed. Ron himself was calculating his own profits, weighing whether Siani Felicita was a golden goose or a tarnished copper wire. When the right moment came, he'd have to get rid of them. If he could glean information from this training session, he could win every battle. Siani, a sudden realization dawning on her, asked, are they truly normals? The subordinate replied, yes, my lady. The blue uniforms signify SA rank. Of course, there aren't many of them because SA rank indicates considerable ability. Siani observed them, thinking Good heavens, I thought it was a slave market, but they look like an elite knight order. She asked. They seem remarkably composed. They don't appear to be subjected to the same brutality as Rudian. The subordinate answered, that's because they have safety collars to suppress their powers. If they rebel or cause an accident, they'll be choked. Siani, perplexed, questioned, choked. Whose idea was that? For what I understand, Ron suggested it, and Lord Eric agreed. The subordinate informed her. Siani inquired, does the Duke know? The subordinate replied, no, he wouldn't. All authority has been delegated to Lord Eric. The Duke has commanded armies his entire life, so even at his strictest, he wouldn't be this harsh. But Lord Eric, indeed, you have to see it to believe it. Even needing to relieve oneself is a punishable offense. The scene shifted to the training grounds, where someone was being choked. Witnessing this, Siani thought, they're using drugs, aren't they? Nothing but astonishing revelations today. I assumed they'd be wielding swords, but what kind of training ends with magical chokers? That training regimen needs to be the first thing addressed. The next name called was Valentine. He was the illegitimate child of the Cilio royal family. He had personally approached the Duke, his status once not unlike a prince, though not anymore. Around the time Rudian became crown prince, a young king in the Cilio kingdom beheaded his own father to seize the throne. That young king, if memory serves, is the one who will aid Rudian in the future. A man facing Valentine said, hold your sword straight, Valentine. Today, we're breaking you of that habit. You bastard, raise your sword. Stop dodging. Valentine retorted while evading, what are you talking about? If you were any good with a sword, I wouldn't be able to dodge. With that, Valentine kicked him in the stomach. The man, having spoken too soon, immediately tasted the bitter fruit of his arrogance. Valentine scoffed, training officer, who's teaching whom? Without those magical collars, you wouldn't be able to control anyone. You think holding that leash gives you power over me? At that moment, Siani unexpectedly approached. The servant beside her cautioned, my lady, you mustn't. It's too dangerous. Valentine is as dangerous as Rudian. Siani, arms crossed and composed, replied, it's far too noisy. Well, I was planning to have a little chat anyway. Siani slowly walked past Valentine. She approached the training officer and took his sword. Immediately after, Siani lunged, attacking Valentine. Memories of her past lives flashed through her mind. Listen, Olivia, she recalled her past self saying, even with diligent training, it won't have any effect. You have to acknowledge the difference in innate strength. Then her younger self pleaded, so master, please teach me. Teach a weak person like me how to take revenge on the wicked through effort and perseverance. There's only one answer, her master had replied. Aim for the weak point. Siani targeted Valentine's right arm, a strike that sent a tremor of pain through him. I've had my eye on this for a while now, Siani thought. He seems to be avoiding any movements that put stress on his right shoulder. If I didn't have the eye for spotting weaknesses, an ability I had as Olivia, I wouldn't have noticed. She then asked aloud, your name is Valentine, correct? Those nearby who witnessed the exchange began to murmur amongst themselves. Did you see that just now? That's Princess Felicita. How could the princess do something like that? Siani continued, your right arm isn't your dominant hand for swordsmanship, is it? That's why your shoulder can't withstand this kind of training. It would be best if you refrained from sword practice in the future. Instead, I'll assign you a different task, something more suited to your abilities. Clutching his shoulder, Valentine retorted, no, this game is invalid. Siani raised an eyebrow. What? Valentine elaborated, didn't you attack me after identifying my weakness? Furthermore, I don't have any information about you, miss. In this underground laboratory, no one can just snatch victory so casually. Most importantly, Valentine continued, his voice gaining steel, you have no right to order me which hand to hold a sword with, whom to stab, or whom to strangle. Please don't defile the training rules with this unlawful behavior. Siani's eyes widened. Rules, she scoffed. The rules of this underground laboratory you speak of are truly laughable. Attacking the training officer and disrupting the training grounds. Are those the legitimate victories and unspoken rules you're referring to? Try saying that again after your head's been separated from your body on the battlefield, she challenged. Though I don't know if you'll be able to complain about broken rules or invalidity after you're dead. In the kingdom of Cilio, how does the loser show respect to the victor? If you want to return to the kingdom to see your brother and father, you shouldn't forget the social etiquette of your own kingdom. Think carefully, Siani pressed. Who do you think will send you back to your kingdom? I mean, who has the power? Who should you obey now? Valentine was silent for a moment. Then a smile played on his lips. The social etiquette of the kingdom, you say? He then dropped to one knee and kissed Siani's hand. Praises of Cilio, he declared. You spared my life with this hand, so please save me with this same hand. I will obey you. This is the oath of surrender offered to the victor in Cilio. Siani replied, very well. From now on, be careful not to injure that hand. Rudian overheard this exchange. His face beaming, the subordinate asked, Good heavens, princess, how did you manage that? That Valentine fellow was exiled for attempting to assassinate his own brother. Siani responded, I'm stronger, so he had to surrender. Do you understand? Rudian, seemingly oblivious to her, walked right past Siani. Siani stood frozen, bewildered by Rudian's sudden shift in demeanor. She suspected his sudden sullenness stemmed from the belief she treated him no differently than the other slaves. She had endured it up to this point, intending to show him otherwise, but perhaps it was already too late. Observing Rudian's training, Siani turned to a nearby training official. Excuse me, she inquired, who is in charge of Rudian's training. He leaned in close and whispered, Lord Neville. He was a favorite subordinate of the Duke when he commanded the army. Furthermore, I hear he came to this research facility on the condition he would train only Rudian. Even so, Siani replied, Isn't it excessive to work the child this late into the night? The man beside her looked puzzled. Child? What child? Siani continued, You ask because you don't know. How important is proper sleep to a growing child? Meanwhile, Rudian was being pushed to his limits. Neville, his trainer, barked orders relentlessly. Harder. You can do it. Again, until you can feel and control the power you possess. With each strike, Rudian grew wearier, his consciousness fading with every swing of his weapon. He began to attack Neville mindlessly. Sensing the danger, Neville shouted, What are you all staring at? Activate the collar, or the tranquilizer gun. Damn it, the collar isn't working. Get the tranquilizer gun. Rudian, snap out of it. Rudian. A realization dawned on Siani. What in the world? Rudian's voice was hoarse. Rudian, have you forgotten my name already? Didn't I say I would return? It seems the woman I've been searching for has finally come back. A voice called out, Training is over, Rudian. Come now. It's time to eat. You must be hungry. This is the wrathful Rudian from the original story, Siani thought. Even his gaze feels oppressive, like a great weight bearing down on me. But I can't show fear. That would be like offering my neck to a wild beast. Are you going to keep me waiting? She asked aloud. Are you awake now? Rudian, now seemingly lucid, brought a hand to his face, his voice trembling. Damn it. Siani asked, Are you all right? Dizzy. He retorted, After seeing what just happened, you're still worried about me. Yes, Siani thought I saw everything. That was the berserker state everyone fears. Aloud, she said, What? You're stumbling around like a newborn calf. Rudian brushed Siani's hand away. Don't pretend you don't know. There are plenty of Nomas who would gladly kneel and swear fealty to the princess, like that man, just now. Whether it's training them or accepting their oaths, go bother them instead. Siani looked at her hand, a thought striking her. I really am crazy. Did I actually think I could tame someone like him? Rudian's voice was low and menacing. Stop appearing before me and offending my eyes. Siani thought to herself, if I could, I'd go too, but what can I do? Without you, how can this novel end? We can only sing each other's praises. Aloud, she said, It seems I've caught your attention. No, seeing you snap to attention the moment you heard my voice confirms it. You're right, many would kneel at a single word from me, but that's not what I want. What I want, drenched in blood, is you. Rudian, regaining his composure, asked, What do you want from me? Siani could feel the frantic thump of his heart beneath her hand. I told you, she replied, I'll give you freedom. Serve me as your master. Some time later, Siani had returned. Her handmaid inquired, My lady, what are you looking at? Siani gazed at the orb in her palm. Something interesting has happened, she murmured. Siani was now observing those in the underground laboratory. The people below were talking amongst themselves. How could the princess bring someone like Valentine and Rudian under her control? Not only that, did you see her wielding a sword back then? Yes, I did. Are we sure it's wise to place all our trust in Lord Eirik like this? What's there to worry about? She's the abandoned child, after all. Think back to when young Master Benio broke off their engagement. That's true. Even when she was jilted, he didn't say a word. Well, if she's not acknowledged by the Duke, it doesn't matter anyway. After all, what forgiveness can a child born after killing her own mother expect? These speakers were, in order, Ron, Balo, and Thomas. Siani spoke up. All right, more importantly, how is Rudian? He fasted last night, too. Daisy replied, Yes, my lady, don't worry. I just heard news about him. He ate a full breakfast this morning. But, my lady, I overheard everything. I heard yesterday was dangerous. Were you hurt anywhere? It's nothing, so please don't make a fuss. But your face is pale, my lady. Memories flooded back to Siani, accompanied by a fluttering sensation, the familiar room of the Duke. Within it, the Duke, utterly cold towards his own daughter. Siani had never known love, a cold expression devoid of any emotion. There's no need to make a big deal out of it. I'm just a little tired, that's all. Emotions surged, but the feelings she experienced now weren't her own. This sense of injustice and sorrow belonged to Siani Felicicite. Such bitter emotions, hidden behind an impassive mask. A knock came from the door. I heard someone calling for me. Your Highness. Come in, Loy. Aide Loy entered. My lady, the Duke requests your presence. Siani was surprised. Father is looking for me. Daisy was delighted. That's wonderful, my lady. Shall I prepare the ointment for you now? Siani replied, yes, since I'm going to see him, I might as well take it with me. You can fetch it. Even now, Siani didn't know why the Duke had summoned her. Later, Siani went to see the Duke. I heard you wished to see me, father. She thought to herself, he called for me so urgently. I thought it couldn't be just for a simple cup of tea. But what is this situation? The Duke said, look at this, Siani. Siani was puzzled. A letter. What kind of letter would cause all the retainers in the family to gather like this? Siani picked up the letter. Is this the royal seal? The Duke inquired. His Majesty sent it to me. Do you have any idea what it could be about? Siani replied, if I had to guess. A man suddenly spoke up. If you have committed a crime, confess it here and now, Princess. For His Majesty to send a letter, it must be a grave matter. Have you insulted the royal family or spread false rumors? You cannot lie to us. Siani thought to herself, it seems Eirik has riled up the retainers. He truly wishes for his own demise. The Duke raised his voice. His Majesty sent this to you, so we cannot open it. If you can guess what it pertains to, tell us now. Siani clenched her fists and looked at the Duke. Do these words mean you agree with the retainers, father, that I have committed some grave offense, and His Majesty seeks to punish me? It is not a trivial matter for His Majesty to send a letter. Hearing these words, Siani thought, is this because I just saw Siani's memories? Normally, I wouldn't feel anything, but this makes me want to cry. Then she spoke aloud, if I have done wrong, I will take responsibility under the name Felicicite, and I will forfeit my life. The Duke roared in anger. Siani, what are you saying? Siani continued, but if that is not the case, then the retainers in this room must be held accountable for daring to insult me. One of the retainers stood up. I knew it. Look, Your Grace, the princess must have committed a grave sin. The white-haired retainer added fuel to the fire. Being jilted wasn't enough, was it? How far do you intend to drag our family's honor through the mud? The Duke commanded silence. Isn't Siani about to speak? Siani read the letter aloud. Therefore, I am very interested in the land that the princess has purchased. We can meet at Arthur Benio's welcoming banquet. I look forward to a cordial conversation with you, landowner. She then held the letter out for all to see. It says so right here. Eirik gasped. The investment in the Balem district. The Duke was speechless. Siani continued, I have never disgraced the Felicicite name. I was merely the recipient of a one-sided termination of engagement from the irresponsible young Master Benio. It's a pity so many retainers gathered here just to tear me apart. Oh, father, your hands are dry. Please use this. Even offering a little ointment is such a chore. If that's all, I'll be going. Although I want to hold those retainers accountable for their words and make them beg for forgiveness, seeing the Duke's bewildered expression, it wouldn't accomplish anything. There probably wouldn't even be an apology. Eirik suddenly grabbed her arm. Sister, wait. Why are you leaving so quickly? Because of His Majesty's letter, I almost forgot. There's something you need to know. Young Master Arthur Benio has decided to come here today. Even though the engagement is broken, common courtesy must be observed. So, isn't he coming to greet you before the official welcoming banquet? Siani wondered aloud. To greet me? Come to think of it, I hadn't considered that. The Emperor's letter did mention Benio's welcoming banquet, didn't it? No, he dumped me because he was bored, Siani thought bitterly. Enji seemed to think Arthur was just spouting nonsense. But Siani realized he was trying to provoke her. With a forced calmness, she replied, No, I don't care. Ira grabbed her arm urgently. Don't lie. Arthur, the man you were practically dying over, is here. Siani glared at Eirik, her eyes narrowing. You're being impertinent. Do not touch me so casually. I know you're trying to get my attention, but I'm busy. I don't have time for you. Arthur's expression shifted at Siani's words. A moment later, Siani returned to her room. Daisy, flustered, greeted her. Miss, you're back. Daisy, did you give the Duke his medicine? Then, a knowing smile played on Siani's lips. You mean to ask if I've heard that young Master Arthur Benio is arriving, don't you? Daisy hesitated. So you do know. I was worried about how to tell you. I was afraid you'd be upset. Siani continued walking, her voice even. Why would I be? My relationship with Benio is over. Daisy bowed slightly. Even so, Miss, you were very fond of him. It seems he's here to see Miss Luna, and I was afraid it would be uncomfortable for you. Siani paused, a thought striking her. Wait, to see Luna. That's not right. He's supposed to meet Luna for the first time at the welcoming banquet. Young Master Benio is so in love with the sister of the woman, he coldly discarded that words can't express it. He's a textbook second male lead. The memory of the man she once loved, his face now a mask of indifference, washed over her. She had endured a hellish time because of him. Arthur and Luna are supposed to meet at the welcoming banquet. What's going on? Hasn't the storyline gone completely off track? Daisy interrupted Siani's thoughts. Miss, the kitchen staff were so pleased with the ointment you gave them. They asked me to thank you. They're all using it diligently, and they want to bake you some delicious cookies. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad it's helping. You can prepare the tea and cookies later. I appreciate their kindness, but I need to go down to the basement now. Daisy looked surprised. What? But won't that be awkward? If he's arriving soon, you might run into each other. Siani turned to her. I don't care about that relationship anymore, so there's nothing awkward about it. Daisy, please call a tailor for me. I need a pair of gloves made for training for men to use. Daisy replied, Yes, miss. The scene shifted to Eirik, who was waiting for Arthur's arrival. Young Master Benio, welcome. It's an honor to receive you. Luna joined them. Welcome. It's an honor to have you here, young Master Benio. I am Luna. The Duke is delighted by your visit, but a meeting with his retainers has run long, so he's unable to greet you personally. Arthur looked at them, his thoughts churning. Where's Siani? Why are these adopted siblings greeting me? Do these insignificant creatures think they're my equals? He forced a smile. Of course, I understand his busy schedule. I'm more than pleased with such a warm welcome. Earlier, Arthur Benio's father had instructed him, bring Chani Felicicite to the welcoming banquet. Arthur replied, but father, Chani hasn't sent a reply. His father, with a stern expression, insisted, then bring her by any means necessary, and find out what happened between His Majesty and Princess Chani. Arthur thought to himself, if she's useful, I'll have to hold on to her even if it means re-engaging. If it weren't for my father, I would never return here. To have to compromise with Chani, of all people. How irritating. The scene shifts to Chani. Her servant, Daisy, upon seeing her attire, exclaims, Oh my miss, you look so beautiful. Chani smiled. Really? Daisy's eyes sparkled. Of course. You're always beautiful, miss, no matter how you dress, but I really love this simple look on you. Chani walked towards the door. It's just a few pearls on my shawl. You flatter me, Daisy. Daisy replied, It's not flattery, Mississippi. I haven't even begun to describe how lovely you look. The scene shifts to Eirik. We've kept our esteemed guest waiting long enough. Let's go inside and talk. Arthur was impatient to see Chani. He thought, where's Chani? Is she upstairs? Following these fools is a waste of time. I should excuse myself and find her. Arthur bowed slightly. There's no need. I wasn't formally invited, and I haven't yet greeted the Duke. Wandering the residence would be impolite. Daisy's voice drifted from nearby. Miss looks like she stepped out of the portrait of Madam hanging on the staircase today. Didn't I tell you? She looks like a white flower now, like a lily. Chani quickly interrupted. Daisy, shush. I know, so please be quiet. At that moment, Arthur caught sight of Chani nearby. My attention, snagged by her gaze, ignited within me like a golden flame. Chani gracefully descended the stairs. The servants were surprised to see her. They whispered amongst themselves, what do we do? Young Master Benio is here to see Miss Luna today. Another added, this is so awkward. The princess must be embarrassed. A retainer quickly hushed them. Miss, young Master Benio has arrived. Chani continued her descent, unhurried and composed. Has he? Luna's baking is quite good. Enjoy yourselves. With that, she walked away with Daisy without a backward glance. A heavy silence fell over the room. Arthur was bewildered, unsure of what was happening. Daisy asked, puzzled, but miss, why are we taking this way to the cellar? You usually just disappear with your key. Chani replied, I'm bringing some sweets I made in my private residence. There isn't much of an age gap between myself and Ridian, but after all these time loops, he feels like a child. Chani asked, how is the flavor? Ridian answered, sweet. Of course, Chani knew he was a grown man, and the one who would kill her at the end of the original storyline. Chani said, I couldn't check yesterday, but seems all your wounds have healed. She thought to herself, I doubt I can tame this boy. Perhaps it's because I quelled his outburst. Ridian's heart beat strongly beneath my hand. Just a moment ago, he had such a terrifying expression. I don't know if that growl was meant as a warning, but I'm certain the way Ridian's cheeks flushed crimson like the sunset made him look as adorable as a child. He told me not to rule him with candy, as if he were asking for more affection, like a petulant child upset at not being the center of attention. Yesterday, I said, I observe you very carefully, and I discovered something. Ridian asked, curious, what about this hand? What else? I prompted, I want you to hold it out. You ate the candy too. Now you're treating me like a dog. Which hand? Give it here. Ridian then extended his hand to me. Yesterday, I noticed you have a habit of gripping your sword. Is it difficult to maintain your grip until the very end? So your hand must be tired. It's because you don't have proper training gloves. I've already called a tailor to make you some. Let's go upstairs. Ridian suddenly spoke, my lady. I blinked, surprised. Huh? He continued, do you treat others like this as well? Constantly touching them, giving them strange candies. I thought to myself, isn't this a bit dangerous? He didn't even think about the fact I've been holding his hand this whole time. Ridian continued, coming here late at night. I asked, were you still awake that day? I thought you were asleep, so I was just talking to myself. How could I sleep? My lady, do you know what the people locked up here have done? Do you know what I did to be locked up here? Why are monsters like us not allowed to be saved? That night, if I hadn't endured, what would have happened? You can't even imagine. I thought that feeling again, the one with the jagged fangs and the black drool. I can feel the chilling air of a dangerous serpent, the kind that can make you feel pressured with just a glance. He's clearly trying to intimidate me. That day, he looked down at me with those blue eyes and warned me that I was an eyesore. What I've realized through these repeated warnings is that Ridian is paying attention to me, even though he wants me to be afraid and run away. He does the opposite and reaches out. What I've learned through my past lives is that you can't overcome inherent differences in power. So, you have to tame them by transcending force and status. There's one thing humans are drawn to. Even though they know the box is dangerous, they still open it. So, I said, do you know what I did this morning? Have you ever imagined me doing something truly wicked? Think about it. You must have heard it before, right? My nickname, the Cursed Witch of Felicicite. You wouldn't let me be in danger, would you? Ridian said, his voice laced with reproach, because I can endure it, but others can't. Even if you talk to them or make eye contact, don't casually touch them or pat their heads like you do with me, and especially don't blow in their ears. That was sudden, but just talking shouldn't be dangerous. Ridian interrupted, no, it is. The more accustomed they are to being abandoned, the less they can forget even a fleeting moment of warmth. It's the nature and instinct of a dog. Chani thought to herself, wait a minute, that line, he shouldn't be saying that yet. Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter now. She pinched Ridian's cheek and said, you're the only one I want to buy gloves for. So, do you want to come with me now? Ridian replied, yes. The scene shifted back to Duke Romeo. He was looking at his hands after applying the ointment Chani had given him. He recalled the previous meeting. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. I'll go and ease her mind. Don't worry, Your Grace. It's unbelievable that His Majesty would send the princess a letter like this. Well, we still don't know what His Majesty truly intends. A mere letter doesn't tell us why he wants to meet with her. Damn it, what should we do now? Indeed, it's only natural to be worried. After all, the princess was bound to cause something like this sooner or later. Not only that, I hear she's recently taken an interest in those monsters in the cellar. If she were even half like Lady Luna, things wouldn't have turned out this way. The humiliation of being jilted by young Master Benio has only just begun to subside. A young man spoke up. That's nonsense. How? Is the broken engagement the princess's fault? Moreover, doesn't this mean our family now has the potential to influence the royal family? No, to be precise, it means the princess has that power. This man was Aaron Pot. The white-haired man barked, you insignificant nobody. Even if you're senile, you should still speak with respect. W what? How dare you? Aaron continued, even with the passage of time, it seemed you haven't changed, so I'll be blunt. How long do you intend to berate the princess? For years, during the Duke's absence, the young princess had to fill that empty seat. Yet you badmouthed her, mocked her, and reprimanded her. How amusing is it for elders to oppress a child who couldn't even speak properly back then? Aaron thought to himself, my father passed away, and I had to assume the role of head of the family when I was only 10. The princess was even younger than me at the time. She protected that position until the very end. Though there's still no proof, and I'm still young, it doesn't matter now. His Grace must surely have realized it as well. Your Grace, please reconsider the source of the rumors that claim the princess is a disgrace to the Felicicite family. A man stood up and pointed at Aaron, shouting, "You insolent wretch! You have no right to speak in this meeting. Who are you to raise your voice?" Your Grace, strip Aaron Pot of his right to attend the vassal meetings. The Duke finally spoke. Before that, I have a question. What Aaron said, is it all true? The scene returned to the present. Is it fortunate that a father like this still has something he can do for his daughter? The scene shifted to another location. Your Highness, it's an honor to have you seek me out. Oh, and who is this young gentleman beside you? Chani crossed her arms and said, "This is the one who will become my knight protector. I want to have a pair of training gloves made for him." The glove merchant thought to himself, a knight. No way. His appearance alone suggests he's no ordinary person. How can I understand the whims of these high-born individuals? Just do as I'm told. Then he said, "Well then, Your Highness, please take a look at these glove samples. I'll take his measurements." While Ridian was being measured, Chani sat down to rest for a moment. The words written at the end of the Emperor's letter continued to bother her. "We can meet at Arthur Benio's welcoming party." There's no way His Majesty wouldn't know about the broken engagement between Chani and Arthur, which was currently the hottest topic amongst the aristocracy. It was clear Arthur also knew she hadn't responded to his invitation. It's as if he's saying, "I'm definitely going to that party. I understand. Now I can't not go to that party." I've been wondering why Arthur suddenly came to my mansion, supposedly to see Luna, who has no connection to him. While he's scheming like this, why? He must have another motive, like needing to resolve the fact he told the Emperor I'd attend the welcoming party. Suddenly, a sound startled Chani. "What's wrong?" The young man stammered, "Princess, the thing is." Ridian said, "I'm afraid of strangers, so I don't like being touched." Chani looked at him, thinking, why is the tailor shaking so much? It must be because he's making such a scary face. There's no other way. "Come here, and I'll take your measurements." And so, Chani herself took over the task. Ridian asked, "Do I look that frightening?" Chani asked, puzzled, "What?" Ridian said, "Because everyone who sees me flinches and avoids me, even though I'm wearing a cloak. Honestly, I'm used to being treated like a monster." Chani consoled him, "No, it's because you're so handsome that you startle people. Even a cloak can't hide it all, so they get surprised." "Were you startled too, Princess?" Chani thought, do I even need to say? "Out of all the times I've transmigrated, you're the most handsome." Aloud, she said, "I think the tailor has finished choosing the fabric. I should go and have a look." Ridian's gaze followed her. "But I haven't heard your answer yet. You want me to be startled, don't you? I'll be back. Wait here obediently." Suddenly, her maid called out, Mississippi seeing Daisy's expression. Chani asked, "What's with that look? What's wrong?" Unexpectedly, a man approached. "It's been a while, Princess." Chani was taken aback. He actually came looking for me, and in such a rude manner, too. Chani whispered in Daisy's ear, "Go downstairs and tell Luna and Ira that the eldest son has come looking for me and that I'm feeling very uncomfortable. Go on, because I have something private to discuss with him." After Daisy left, Arthur asked, "I want to ask why you refused the invitation I sent. You've always waited for me. Or are you acting spoiled and irritable again to get my attention? This time, it's quite clever. Thanks to that, the person you've been longing for has come to find you. But let's end this game here. I won't come looking for you again, so obediently accept the invitation." Chani thought, just as I suspected, so there's nothing interesting about this. He came here directly to give me the invitation. Arthur continued, "If you're going to accept the invitation so easily, why?" Chani replied frankly, "It seems you really need me at this party. Are you planning to use my attendance as bait to invite His Majesty? This time, since you've come all this way, I'll accept it as a courtesy, but don't do this again." Arthur looked annoyed. What are you saying right now? If you want to invite me, you'll have to kneel before me and present the invitation. Incidentally, if you bark like a dog, even better. Who knows? I might take pity on you." Arthur stepped closer to Chani. "Chani Felicicite, are you trying to electrocute me with your stare this time? Are you insane? Let go of me. Chani, have you already forgotten? It's thanks to me that you're treated even remotely like a human being in this castle. You said I was the only one who could save you. How dare you behave like this?" Chani fumed inwardly. Dare he, compared to rumors of being a villainess or whatever, being treated so poorly? Chani truly was a typical, foolish character hiding behind a villainous mask. "I've made myself clear, haven't I?" she snapped. "Do you think I'm still that Chani, clinging to your every word? Listen closely. I don't like you anymore. I'm sick of you. Stop deluding yourself and get out of here." Sick of me. You're saying that to me now. This is the first time I've seen this side of you, Chani. You should have been like this from the start. This is much more interesting than acting like a soulless doll. Besides, you're especially beautiful today. If you had shown me this side of you while we were engaged, perhaps our relationship would have lasted. Just how easy does he think I am to pull this kind of stunt? Chani thought, seething. Arthur continued, I should have known when those tedious letters suddenly stopped arriving. Have you found someone else to lean on? Tell me, Chani, have you truly earned His Majesty's favor? Or has he promised to let some other lunatic propose to you? Chani, exasperated, rammed her head into his chin. What did you do that for? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. You grabbed me so suddenly. I thought you were some kind of pervert. We're not engaged anymore. That kind of proximity is inappropriate. But young master, won't you be in trouble if I don't attend your welcoming party? And yet you dare to insult me. Unless you're a fool, you must have someone backing you up, right? Arthur roared, Chani felicicite. Suddenly, Arik and Luna arrived. It seemed Daisy had called for them just in time. Young master, we were waiting because you said you wanted to see the gallery alone. Why are you here? Ah, damn it. I apologize. I happened to run into the princess while looking for the gallery. Chani immediately realized Arthur intended to shift the blame onto her. I won't forget the young master's sincerity in coming all this way to personally deliver the invitation, she said smoothly. But this attentiveness is quite unlike you. If you had simply said you were here to see me, Luna and Arik wouldn't have wasted their time. And you as well. Our relationship is nothing. It's rather impolite of you to visit like this. I think you understand what I mean, don't you? Young master. With that, she turned and returned to her room. The unpleasant thump of her heart after Arthur's presumptuous embrace. Her chest had tightened with fear, unsure if she could even speak. This uncomfortable feeling of knowing her place, it wasn't hers, but Chani's. Oh, princess, you're back already. Are you all right? You look a little pale. I'm Euphine. Have you chosen the fabric yet? Yes, your highness, the young man, Ridian, the tailor, replied. I've selected a few fabrics and arranged them. After you've looked them over, if you'll summon me, I'll prepare them immediately. Chani responded, thank you for your hard work. You may return now. I'll review them and send someone to you. Yes, princess, Ridian acknowledged. I wanted to speak about the night from earlier, Chani began. Ah, about that, Ridian stammered. He's still new to his duties, so please be understanding and forgive his clumsiness. That's not it, Chani interrupted. Perhaps I saw wrong, but Ridian hesitated. Princess, what are you referring to? You seem hesitant. He continued. It's like a legend my grandfather used to tell me. Isn't there a saying that the king of the demon army was so beautiful that one could believe he was truly an angel? Well, my guard is as beautiful as an angel, Chani conceded, but is this really the time to bring that up? It seems a bit sudden. Ridian pressed on. That is the symbol, the hallmark of the great demon king's curse in the legend. Do you remember what it was? Chani inquired. The omen of misfortune, Ridian replied, his voice low, his black eyes. The original story begins like this. Chani mused to herself. The goddess Thea, after founding the Meteora Empire, sealed Palladian, the king of the demon legion. He had relentlessly plagued the empire. One would think the goddess would exist eternally, but she vanished along with Palladian. That's the opening of the first chapter, she thought. But why is he suddenly mentioning Palladian from the founding myth? Cursed black eyes? Come to think of it, no character in the original story was mentioned to have black eyes. But Ridian's eyes were described as blue. If this were about someone else, I'd ignore it, but since it's about Ridian, I can't just let it go. Ridian's voice broke through her thoughts. Princess, I heard the tailor return outside, but you haven't come back. Come closer, Chani instructed. Ridian obeyed, stepping towards her. You're too tall. Lower your head. Wait, be still. Though a bit dark, these are clearly blue eyes. I suppose in shadow, they could appear black. Ridian, are you all right? Your face is flushed. Ridian stammered. It's the candy. After eating the candy, what are you talking about? Chani asked, a hint of sharpness in her voice. That medicine is good for you. I put so much care into selecting it. I won't say anything more, as I despise those who are cowardly and base. So trust me. Ridian quickly changed the subject. On my way here, I saw some servants. They told me you were here, and that someone was bothering you. Someone daring to bother me. Chani questioned. Yes, there was someone, she admitted. Was it the man from earlier? Ridian asked. Chani considered his words. He's talking about Arthur. It makes sense. I met him right outside the door while Ridian was inside. So he probably overheard our conversation. When was the last time I felt true pain? Living vicariously through the lives of others eventually leads to the painful realization that expending emotion is a waste. If you don't love, you won't be hurt. Naturally, you won't feel pain, so nothing can truly bother you. Interrupting her own internal monologue, Chani said aloud, "No, there's no one like that." Pain stems from misplaced expectations. Ridian, a touch bewildered, asked, "Do you mean you don't expect anything from anyone?" The scene shifts to Luna's perspective. She asked, "Is that so?" Her two maids respond, "Yes, a strange man asked us where Princess Chani was. It must have been Noma, brought up from the underground laboratory. It's quite frightening, Mississippi. Why would she bring him all the way up here?" Luna says, "Don't say such things. I'm just worried about her. Please help me change. I must go see her. Do I have a beige dress, I wonder?" Back with Chani, she replies to Ridian, "That's right, but if you betray me, I'll be very hurt. So don't betray me, Ridian." Ridian responds, "What if you betray me, Duchess?" Chani stands up, as if that would ever happen. Ridian leans closer to Chani and says, "If you were to betray me, Duchess, then you would have to accept whatever actions I might take." Chani thinks to herself, "Actions, huh?" Still, she muses internally. His Halgandu favorability rating seems higher than before. He didn't say he'd betray me first. Aloud, she says, "Let's leave it at that, because there's no way I'd betray you first." A knock comes at the door. Who is it? Daisy. Chani hurriedly helps Ridian into his coat. It's a bit warm, but please bear with it for a moment. The door opens, revealing Luna. Luna speaks, "I apologize, sister. I came by so suddenly. I was worried you might be upset about what happened earlier. So, Mother didn't know you had a guest." Chani notices Luna staring intently at Ridian. Noma was training in the basement, Chani explains. "We had some private matters to discuss, so he came up here." Ridian adds, "It's time for my training session now. Please, miss, would you escort me back to the basement?" "Certainly. Can you go alone?" "Are you worried about me?" Mississippi Chani doesn't reply, offering a small smile instead. She then escorts Ridian back to the basement, locking the door behind him. Turning to Luna, Chani says, "Come in, Luna. Have some tea." "So what brings you here?" She thinks to herself, in the original story, Luna, unlike Arik, never came to speak with me privately like this, to make me uncomfortable. Luna begins, "The Grand Duke has departed. He said he wanted to take a quiet stroll through the gallery, so I assumed that was the case. But I'm sure you must have been surprised, right?" "No, I'm fine." "Oh, by the way, you've received the invitation to the Grand Duke's festival, haven't you?" Chani crosses her arms. "I don't intend to go, but things have already come to this." Luna replies, "If he went to the trouble of delivering it personally, it seems he holds a special affection for you." "You think so?" "Indeed. To be precise, this is the first festival the Benyon Grand Ducal family has held in years, so it will be quite the grand affair. Surely the Duchess of the Felicicite Ducal family, that is you, sister, will attend. It would give the Grand Ducal family such face. And besides," Chani interrupts, "Luna, what are you trying to say? You've never been this talkative with me before." "Luna hesitats." "What?" "Oh, that. Yes, well, I only meant to say that the Grand Duke has left. You should rest and—" "But the person just now, that was Ridian, wasn't it? The strongest of the Norma. Even a Grand Duke and my brother wouldn't dare trifle with him, right?" Chani thought to herself, "Wow, she really is the heroine." She knew just by looking. Aloud, she said, "Yes, that's right." Luna replied, "Oh, that's right. Thanks to my brother, I've seen him before when the Norma were training. I heard he's so powerful, they can only control him with the chain around his neck. Don't you feel something?" Chani asked, "Feel something? Like what?" Luna responded, "It's just, I've never seen you look like that before. So I thought, maybe you two were close. Everything I saw was accurate, wasn't it?" Chani's thoughts raced. It seems the original plot has been disrupted. Luna's first encounters with the male leads have all been ruined by my interference. I didn't intend to intrude on the relationships between the main characters, but I didn't know the story would unfold like this. I should be more careful with my words for now. After a moment of contemplation, Chani said, "You think so? I was just trying my best to get Father's permission to use the basement key." Luna hesitated, then said, "It's true. Everything you have is so beautiful." The next morning, "I've heard, Chani. You also met with Arthur Benio, correct?" Chani replied, "Yes, Father." I regret yesterday's incident. They were also quite surprised, which is why they call for you. Don't worry about it. Chani responded smoothly. It's all right. It's not as if it's the first time something like this has happened. Chani wondered what her father wanted to discuss. Is there something else you wanted to talk about, father? If I'm taking up your time, I can leave. No, Fieni. I also believe they went too far yesterday, so I intend to give you the authority to decide their punishment. He stammered slightly of course, that's not the only reason I called you, but Chani was taken aback. Punishment, father. Yes, you can decide the punishment for their offense against Duchess Felicity. Chani thought, so he's giving me the knife to cut off the heads of his close associates. Then she said, well, if that's what you've decided, father, I'll obey. But they must have been surprised by His Majesty's sudden letter. I think we should observe them a little longer. The Grand Duke questioned, observe them further. I'll give them a chance to redeem themselves. After all, they've served our family for a long time. Is that so? I thought you might strip them of their titles and assets and banish them. The Grand Duke realized his daughter was becoming increasingly mature. But Chani, how did you acquire information about the Belem region? You said someone told you. Who would know such confidential information of the royal family? His Majesty will surely inquire about the source. We need to be clear about these things. Chani explained, actually, father, wasn't something I heard. It was a prediction. As you know, the central regions developed around the capital are mostly owned by the royal family. Correct. Since it's land the royal family purchased, I assumed the entire area would be developed. The Grand Duke began to understand. I see. If the royal family buys land, the nobles would scramble to buy surrounding areas, wouldn't they? But then, why hasn't anyone shown interest in the Belem region? Isn't it true the royal family hasn't touched it? It's worthless land with no potential for development. If that's the case, then there's something suspicious here. Why hasn't the royal family shown any interest in the Belem region? About that, the information regarding His Majesty choosing the Belem region. So, His Majesty didn't release the news. Indeed, the reason His Majesty only suppressed information about the Belem region is to make it seem backward and undesirable. Could it be? Is it a place where important royal affairs take place, making it impossible for anyone to seize? That's why the royal family spread more rumors about the western lands, so no one would pay attention to the Belem region. Oh my, how could I? Chani thought to herself. Actually, this is just information I learned from reading the principles. At this level, it's probably reasoning that both the Duke and the Emperor could accept, right? I feel so pressured. Then, she drank a glass of water and said, I'll probably meet His Majesty the Emperor at the Grand Duke's festival. I'll tell him my thoughts then, so father shouldn't worry too much. The Duke asked, are you planning to go to the festival? Chani replied, yes. After all, the Grand Duke came directly and sent me an invitation. That easygoing, smiling appearance. That lunatic. Father, therefore, I have a request. Hearing Chani's words, he pondered, lost in thought. Chani, a request. Come to think of it, I've never heard my daughter ask me for anything. Am I even a proper father? A request. Tell me, I'll grant you anything. The scene shifts to Luna. It seems quite lively outside today. Do you all know what's happening? Her maid replied, about that, I heard that the Duke summoned all the top designers for the Duchess. I also heard that all the designers' contracts were canceled and they were compensated tenfold. The young ladies are crying because their dresses were suddenly canceled. The young ladies are all gossiping about the Duchess. They're even calling her the most ambitious and wicked. Even so, it's fortunate. We signed with mid-tier designers, so our dresses weren't affected. That's right. It's a blessing that you don't crave luxury, Mississippi. But what if the Duchess contacts all those designers? What will we do then? The Duchess is so jealous of Lady Luna. Do you think she would share a dress? I don't know. Without the Duchess, if you ask the Duke, it might be possible. Luna spoke, it's all right. How could I dare confront her like that? Moreover, those are the designers the Duke called for her. How could I do such a thing? Grand Duke Benio even personally delivered the invitation to her. How can I compare? Her maid quickly comforted her. Were you saying? You'll be the most beautiful, regardless. The Duchess is really, why is she so greedy? I've said it before, she already has those beautiful things. What's more, the most beautiful of them was stolen away. The scene shifts to Chani. Daisy, why do you look like that? Daisy cried, it's unfair. It's so unfair. Those are the designers his grace summoned. Luna's maid, Daisy, fumed. But why are they bad-mouthing the Duchess? Do they even realize they're only here because the Grand Duke called for them? If her grace had summoned them, they wouldn't have come at all. They haven't even met the Duchess, and they dare call her ugly. It's all such nonsense. I honestly want to knock them all down. Chani chuckled, overhearing the outburst. Huh, I wonder what had you so riled up. Don't be like that. Come here and brush my hair. Daisy's voice still trembled with indignation. But, Your Grace, I hate seeing you treated like this. Even so, there must be a reason why I gave you that task, right? Chani replied. Of course. Among those who arrived today, is there anyone with black hair and blue eyes? I heard they're quite adorable. Yes, Your Grace, Daisy confirmed. You said it was important to be certain, so I checked everyone even near the walls. Even though they were standing at the very back, I confirmed they were present. Are they very important? Well, Chani mused, they could become very important. Berman Dietrich, once called a genius of principle, was the very person she needed right now. The scene shifted elsewhere, where the invited designers were gossiping amongst themselves. I hear that girl is hideous. I heard the same. That Grand Duke Benio, he broke off the engagement because of her ugly face, didn't he? Probably. Though, the Feliciate family hasn't said anything about the broken engagement, have they? Anyway, I hope she doesn't choose my gown. It would displease me to have such an ugly thing wear it. At that moment, Duchess Chani arrived. A young man with blue eyes gazed at her, captivated. Chani, radiant in her beauty, entered the room. A designer approached and bowed low. It is an honor to meet you, Your Grace. Chani crossed her arms, her voice ringing clear. Who is the best here? No, number one. That's what Arthur Benio said last time, wasn't it? A blond man chuckled nervously. I was a bit taken aback and slow to respond, Your Grace. Currently, in terms of sales, we are number one. A mustache man immediately countered. They have a large surplus, so of course their sales figures are high. We only sell limited edition pieces, Your Grace. The two men bickered. Are you saying you lack the skill to produce a surplus? That's not funny. Since when did producing a surplus to sell at a discount require skill? What are you implying? Chani sat down and interrupted them. Enough. I didn't call you here to listen to you argue. Father seems to be interested in a lot of people this time. But what can I do? I only want the best. I've said it before, there's no obligation. You can quit anytime. One of the designers protested. 3 days, Your Grace. That's unreasonable. Chani fixed him with a steady gaze. Then don't do it. I said I only want the best. If you don't have the skill, then leave. A hush fell over the room. After a moment, a voice piped up from the back. 3 days. I can do it in 3 days. But if I have to send it back and start over now. Chani quickly realized this young man was Berman. According to the records, he was destined to become a designer of historical significance. Chani smiled. All right then. Everyone else is dismissed. She thought to herself. Of course, his works were only discovered posthumously, but wow, he really is a genius. This time, survive and bask in the glory. The scene shifted to Rudian. Neville spoke. Rudian, you've broken all the wooden swords already. You've been working hard, haven't you? Your complexion looks much better, too. What's with that look? It seems like someone's waiting for someone. At least he's not making the instructors nervous anymore. That's a relief. Neville thought to himself. The wounds around his eyes have disappeared. The control collar he always wore is gone, too. His complexion is better. Perhaps he's not skipping meals anymore. That's good. But that habit of not answering people, it's still the same. Neville recalled his first encounter with Rudian. Hello there, lad. My name is Neville. I still remember that first meeting with Rudian vividly. He was a child, seemingly useless, yet someone cared for him. Back then, the Duke had said, that child is the last one, isn't he? Even if he wasn't, I want to greet him. But why are you gathering these children, Your Grace? I am following my wife's dying wish. I am only gathering children with the potential she spoke of. Potential, Your Grace? Neville had asked. Indeed, because they're the children closest to possessing that potential. Is that the potential for these children to be raised as weapons? The Duke glared. Neville, do I seem that ruthless to you? If it were about creating weapons out of children, I could simply have them fight monsters or send them to the battlefield. Why would I waste money building this place? Just trust me. Even if you don't trust me, surely you trust my wife. Time passed, and now Rudian, so different from the child back then, was still in the basement. Though I don't know what the Duchess's dying wish was. Rudian, you seem taller now, don't you? Rudian thought of Chani. He remembered her candy. Perhaps it's because I ate that strange candy. Neville, overhearing him, was surprised. Well, I'll be. live long enough, and you see everything. I never thought I'd see this kid smile. The morning of the festival arrived. The designers were at it again. Wouldn't a string of high-quality pearls around the neckline accentuate her femininity? Huh, pearls. The Duchess is more suited to the brilliance of sapphires. Who is this? What's this brat saying? We've added ruffles to the hem and sleeves to emphasize romance and feminine power. And we've also researched hand embroidery techniques. We're meticulously hand-stitching each piece using the applique method. Chani thought to herself, they really are all incredibly skilled to be called top designers. And she said aloud, these are all beautiful, truly the work of talented individuals. However, none of them are practical. If this corset is worn this tightly against the chemise at the bust, do you think I can endure it for more than 8 hours? A designer below retorted, but Duchess, if you want to perfectly embody the beauty of the gown, you must endure a little discomfort, mustn't you? Isn't enduring pain and blossoming like a beautiful flower the fate of all noble women? Chani replied, what did you say? I am the only noblewoman here. How dare you gentlemen decide my fate? Suddenly, Chani's attention was caught by something. She had finally found it. It was Berman. I should see the finished product from our little genius. The time for the party arrived quickly. The Grand Duke said, oh, Luna, you look beautiful. Thank you, Grand Duke. He continued, this is your first time attending such a grand party since arriving in the Empire, isn't it? Don't be nervous. Just relax. Eirik spoke up, Grand Duke, please don't worry. I will escort her and stay by her side. 2 maids nearby chimed in. Miss, you look so beautiful. The dress suits you perfectly. Thank you. This cheap necklace looks rather rustic with this dress, doesn't it? The Grand Duke glanced at his pocket watch. Chani is a bit late, isn't she? It seemed like there were many carriages arriving this morning, wasn't there? Perhaps she wanted to try on many dresses and is just running a little behind. Please excuse her. Chani's voice then rang out. Have you all been waiting long? She had finally arrived. The Grand Duke, seeing her, stammered, Chani, what? Chani asked, what is it? Do I look strange? And isn't that necklace the one I gave to Claude as an engagement gift? Yes, you recognized it. Those present, upon seeing Chani, began to murmur amongst themselves. Oh my goodness, is that really the Duchess? She's breathtakingly beautiful. The Grand Duke approached Chani and said, beautiful, yes, but isn't it a bit sparing with the fabric? What do you mean, father? Well, I was wondering who the designer is, Chani. His name is Berman. I was planning to introduce him to you next time. Nearby, Eirik stared at Chani, unable to tear his gaze away. Luna thought to herself, she's so greedy. Chani gave a radiant smile. Shall we go? They quickly boarded their carriages and departed. Inside Eirik and Luna's carriage, Eirik spoke, Luna, that dress suits you very well. The color is quite vibrant, too. Who styled your hair like that? I must compliment them. Oh, it's fine. Even if you didn't try to comfort me. Comfort you. I'm just stating the truth. Luna looked towards the Grand Duke's carriage. The carriage the Grand Duke is riding in looks so spacious and comfortable. I wonder when I'll be able to ride in a carriage like that. Luna, Eirik said, the carriage we're using now is already quite good, isn't it? Think back to when we were living in the orphanage. How could we have ever expected to wear such fine clothes and attend grand festivals in the capital like this? We belong here now, after all. I'll be by the Duke's side, assisting him, and you're his adopted daughter, right? Luna replied, so what? We're not Felicai, we're Riva. We've gone out with the Duke countless times, but we've never once ridden in a Felicai family carriage. Not even once. She's been locked up in her room, doing nothing for the past 10 years. Yet she can easily be escorted by the Duke like that. Brother, there's something I want to ask you. Eirik inquired, something you want to ask me? It's about the basement, Luna said. You have a key to go down there too, right? I want to see Norma. Can you help me? The scene shifted to the basement. Neville, arms crossed, said, even sweets have been prepared for you. It's fortunate the Duchess cares about you. It seems the young lady is also annoyed with that adopted child, Eirik. But today is Arthur Benio's festival, so everything is in chaos. I heard dozens of carriages arrived at the mansion this morning. They were all designers making dresses for the Duchess. Rudian asked, Arthur Benio. Neville explained, Grand Duke Benio, the Duchess's former fiancé. Of course, it's over now. Rudian thought to himself, that's the man who bothered the Duchess that day. Then he said aloud, so the Duchess is going to meet that man. Neville didn't understand why Rudian was so talkative today, but he still replied, well, it's the Grand Duke's festival, so I suppose she'll meet him. Rudian recalled what he had said to Chani. If you're worried, come find me before I get hurt. If you wait patiently, I'll come see you soon. Back in the present, Rudian asked, is the basement that different from up there? Neville scratched his head. Huh, what are you talking about? Isn't it obvious that it's different? It's night in the basement, and it's morning up there. But you should be more grateful to the Duchess. She's in a place you can't reach, yet she came down here directly. Rudian thought. The young lady said if I waited here patiently, she would come quickly. But she also said she never lies. But is it gratitude that the Duchess came down here directly? So when did the Duchess come here to see me? Was it when I was covered in blood and injuries? So if I get hurt again, the Duchess will come see me. The scene shifted to Chani. I don't like it. If you don't want to wear that, then put this on. The venue is large, so it will be very cold. You'll get sick, and that will be troublesome. Father, it's summer. I suppose you don't know how terrible summer colds can be. Father, please. At that moment, Benio Arthur's father approached. Well, look who it is. Greetings, Duke Felix Sight. Oh, the Duchess is here as well. Chani bowed her head slightly. Greetings, Grand Duke. Grand Duke, Benio replied. We're in a position where we can no longer meet. Duchess, aren't we? So, my son Arthur can only worry. Thank you both for attending like this. I've also heard the entire empire buzzing about the Duchess's vibrancy. Truly a beautiful and talented daughter. You're blessed, Duke Felix Sight. You're only just realizing that now. Duke Romeo replied. Chani, glancing at him, thought, he's probably thinking along those lines now, isn't he? It doesn't seem like he's completely indifferent to me. Grand Duke Benio placed a hand on his chest. Of course, I must greet Duke Felix Sight personally upon his arrival. More importantly, I have a private matter to discuss with him. Shouldn't the first part of the party be left for the young people to enjoy? Duke Felix Sight, please accompany me. Someone, escort the Duchess to the drawing room inside. Ensure she is well attended to before the party begins. Do you understand? Duke Romeo interjected, but I came here today to escort my daughter. Chani cut in, Father, I'll be fine. The beginning of the party will likely be chaotic. If you promise to stay by my side during the second half, I'll let you go. Is that acceptable? Duke Romeo frowned. Absolutely not. You look stunning today, so I'm sure some young lads will be swarming around you. Stay by my side. A moment later, he finally relented and left. Is the Duke getting senile? Why is he acting so out of character today? Is it because I called him father that he's forgotten everything I've done? Perhaps that's why he listened to me and went to speak with the Grand Duke. A maid approached. Your Grace, if you require anything, please do not hesitate to ask. Chani, looking at her, thought, how very polite. She's likely Benio's watchdog here. Could you bring me a glass of warm water? Chani requested. Around 24 degrees Celsius, please. The maid replied, certainly, Your Grace. Everything is being prepared, so I will fetch it immediately. Chani interrupted, oh, and I'm quite sensitive to scents, so if you could add some herbs, that would be even better. Ah, rosemary then. Shall I add fresh rosemary leaves? Fresh rosemary leaves are being prepared, Your Grace. No, fresh leaves, please. The maid paled slightly at Chani's string of requests. Chani continued, my servants and knights are waiting outside, so there shouldn't be any issues. Yes, Your Grace. I'll be back shortly. Good. I've managed to shake off the surveillance. Perhaps I should take a stroll around before the party starts. A voice called out, where has everyone gone? Chani wondered, who's that? The young man replied, why are you here all alone, my lady? Chani thought, the Grand Duke probably wanted someone to keep an eye on me, to prevent me from encountering anyone. Someone who can bypass the Grand Duke's control and come all the way here must be royalty. There's no such thing as a chance encounter with royalty. What's their motive? Are they on the Grand Duke's side? Ah, my lady, you must be surprised by my sudden appearance. I am Calus. I intended to accompany my brother, but the Grand Duke led him away and brought me here. Kailus, Chani thought. That's the name I saw in the original work. Calus Hill Rixon, the High Priest and the Emperor's younger brother. Dipping her head, Chani said, Your Highness, it is an honor. Please forgive my rudeness in not recognizing you sooner. Calus continued, it's all right. Not many in the Empire know my face. You can lift your head. Chani thought, but the original plan was to appear incognito, so it's natural that I wouldn't recognize him. Calus stepped closer to Chani. I mean no harm by this, but are all young nobles these days this bold? Do the youth of today hold no fear for their future? I am curious. Chani replied, I don't understand what you're saying. Is that so? Then let me be more specific. I'm sure you're aware of the Grand Duke's surveillance of you. What do you intend to do if Grand Duke Arthur Benio is displeased with your actions? I don't know what he's implying, Chani thought, but I know I must answer carefully. I didn't realize requesting a specific tea would upset His Highness so much. My lady, I wasn't referring to myself, but to the Grand Duke. Have you heard why His Majesty is attending Arthur Binio's banquet today? Chani thought, it's because the Emperor wants to see me, and Arthur lied to him, saying I'd be here. But I can't just blurt that out. I don't know, Chani said. I heard it was because of a rough stone His Majesty had his eye on, but some impudent duchess snatched it up. And how did this duchess manage that? Why and for what reason would she purchase a rough stone no one else had noticed? After some deliberation, His Majesty concluded there must be a little mouse hiding somewhere within the royal household. So he decided to catch that mouse first, and then deal with whoever dared to play games behind his back. It seems he's quite determined to eliminate them all. That story sounds rather strange, Chani commented. Haha, strange. What is? Chani brought a hand to her chin. If this person knew it was the rough stone His Majesty had his eye on, why would they take it? It's quite suspicious, isn't it? Why provoke His Majesty like that? Why dare to oppose him? So, why did the Duchess buy the stone then? Wasn't it because she knew it would become a jewel? Anything His Majesty sets his sights on must be exceptional, right? There's only one Duchess in the Empire, isn't there? I know her. High standards, intelligent. Surely, a just ruler like His Majesty wouldn't punish someone simply for having high standards. Kayla said, well, that's possible. Chani thought, I'm lucky that I managed to get through that. It seems the Emperor sent his brother to probe my intentions. According to the original plan, Kalis is closer to a punisher than a holy man. If I'd answered incorrectly, I might have died here before the Emperor even arrived. I'm glad that's over. Kalis's expression turned serious. But you deflected my questions too easily. I want to ask, what do you intend to do about His Majesty, who stole everything from me in a single day? What will you do, my lady? You dare to steal from His Majesty. You must be ready to die, then. Chani was stunned. What in the world is he talking about? Kalis pressed, well, my lady, you stole from His Majesty. You must be awaiting death, yes. Chani thought to herself, stolen. Awaiting death. Is that His Majesty's reasoning? It wasn't an accusation entirely impossible to counter. Then, aloud, she said, didn't you say it was a secret? Meaning, His Majesty hasn't officially declared ownership of the jewel. How can it be considered stealing from him? How can one steal something that has no owner? If we're being precise, it wouldn't be theft on the Duchess's part, but rather a preemptive claim. Observing Kalis's reaction, Chani thought, doesn't he understand? Though he didn't seem poised to kill her on the spot, his rigid demeanor hardly inspired confidence. Can my guards protect me? Should I run? Kalis chuckled. Apram tibaklaim. That's an interesting argument. He'd have a headache if he heard that. Regardless, possession is 9/10 of the law. Chani breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that's the answer he wanted. Kalis continued, oh, the bell. It seems the banquet has begun. What do you say, my lady? Shall I escort you? For two unaccompanied individuals such as ourselves, it seems a fitting arrangement. A flicker of surprise crossed Chani's face. I wouldn't normally want to be escorted by the man who just interrogated me, but this is the Emperor's brother. All eyes will be on us. Extending her hand towards Kalis, she replied, I would be honored, Your Highness. I was slightly apprehensive, Kalis said. Depending on your answer, I was prepared to kill you right there. Chani was stunned. Time travel. Is that what just happened? What? His hair. It's a different color. One surprise followed another. This wasn't Kalis. It was the Emperor himself. I've made my decision, the Emperor declared. I must make my intentions clear to the landowner. Chani gaped. What is the Emperor doing here? The scene shifted to Grand Duke Benio and Chani's father, Romeo. I'll ask you directly, Benio inquired, his voice laced with curiosity. Is there something between His Majesty and the Duchess? Romeo's voice was low. I don't know. Benio pressed him. How can you not know? Didn't you escort your daughter here? Romeo remained calm. I'm not sure. She simply said she wanted to get out for a while. I seem to have neglected my chapped hands. He paused, a strange note entering his voice. But your question is odd. Who said I escorted my daughter? Grand Duke Benio grimaced inwardly. That sly old fox. He still hasn't answered my question. Romeo held up a small container. Do you recognize this? It's a moisturizing balm Chani made for me. I refused, but she insisted. He winked, a mischievous glint in his eye. No, this is a lie. It wasn't my daughter, but my nemesis. Although, such a beautiful nemesis. What could I do? She offered, and I accepted. He sighed dramatically. Ah, you wouldn't understand. You don't have a daughter. Grand Duke Benio stared at Romeo, bewildered. What is this man doing? It just occurred to me how self-deprecating this man is about his own daughter. How could someone so doting show no reaction when his daughter's engagement was broken off? And now there's something different about him. Wait a minute. Grand Duke Benio spoke up. Could it be that your grace was the one who orchestrated the breaking of our family's engagement? Suddenly, a voice called from outside, Your Grace, Grand Duke. Grand Duke Benio turned and snapped at the young man, What are you doing here? No one is permitted to enter without my express permission. The young man stammered, I apologize, Your Grace, but there's something important happening at the banquet. It's urgent. Duchess Felicite is being escorted by His Majesty, the Emperor. Back at the banquet hall, those who witnessed the scene erupted in murmurs. Duchess Felicite and His Majesty, the Emperor. Walking beside Chani, the Emperor remarked, You seem to have a good grasp of managing your facial expressions. The more I see of you, the more I realize the landowner is quite a multi-talented individual. Chani replied, I'm delighted that Your Majesty recognizes my abilities. Although my knowledge is limited, I am aware that the art of shape-shifting is strictly forbidden. The Emperor glanced at Chani. Will you keep this a secret for me? If Kalis finds out, he'll probably have a heart attack. Chani responded, Of course, Your Majesty. I couldn't possibly betray you, so I'll keep your secret. I presume you knew from the beginning that I was Duchess Felicite, which is why you came here, correct? The Emperor chuckled. Haha, Duchess. Next time, I'll bring good news instead of tricking you. So what do you think? How does it feel to be the center of attention at the banquet? I haven't even escorted the princess like this. If you're satisfied with my bribe, will you hand over the Belen district to me? Chani replied, Your Majesty, I believe matters of negotiation should be discussed at the negotiating table. You're certainly not ordinary. I'll take that as a compliment. At that moment, the two dukes arrived. Benio said, Your Majesty, I came as soon as I heard the announcement. I didn't expect you to be ready already. Romeo approached and bowed. Your Majesty. The Emperor said, Duke Felicite, you've arrived. You wouldn't consider giving your daughter to me, would you? Romeo looked puzzled. What do you mean? Seeing his expression, the Emperor laughed. Haha, don't look at me like that. You should hear me out first. You've raised a remarkably clever and intelligent daughter. I wish the princess were more like the Duchess. I'd like to trade daughters with you. Chani thought to herself, wow, look at that face. He looks barbaric. Romeo and the Emperor continued their conversation, oblivious to Benio's darkening expression. You flatter me, Your Majesty. I've also heard that Her Highness the Princess has read all of history since she was 2 years old. That rumor has reached even here. It's embarrassing since it came from me, so I have to be careful. Where did that rumor even start? Observing Benio's displeasure, Chani thought, his son's banquet has turned into a gathering of parents boasting about their daughters, so he must be quite irritated. Clearly, I'm the main character of this banquet now. The Emperor continued, although there's much to discuss regarding these daughters. I must be going now. I've met the person I needed to see. Yes, Arthur, welcome back. I almost forgot I came here to congratulate you on your return. Arthur bowed. Thank you, Your Majesty. Then His Majesty turned and said, Grand Duke and Duke, follow me for a moment. I have something to discuss with you both. Romeo turned to his daughter, Chani, and said, I'll be back shortly. Be careful. Chani replied, See you later, father. I'll wait here. Just then, Arthur approached, calling Chani. Seeing him, Chani thought to herself, I'm curious to see how the fool who lost his place as the main character will act. Arthur said, You look beautiful today. Look at that fake smile. It's probably because there are so many people watching. Arthur reached out and touched Chani. If you had been like this sooner, I would have cherished you so much. Chani was taken aback. Who was he talking about cherishing whom? Arthur continued, You're aware of the Grand Duke's consort selection happening today, aren't you? The onlookers began to murmur amongst themselves. What's going on? I told you, that Duchess is clinging to him like a leech. The way he looks, it's like he's completely smitten with her, trying to stand out to him and her father in a place like this. It makes me feel like you want to become my wife. Chani coldly replied, I used to think that way. Unfortunately, I'm no longer interested in you. If you want me to notice you, take better care of your appearance. I'm the type who cares about a man's looks. Arthur was stunned by her words. Chani looked at him, thinking he seemed surprised that I'm not satisfied with his face. Look at that expression. Well, It's not that Arthur is ugly, it's just that he seems to be lacking something. Compared to Rudian, that lacking feeling is even more obvious. Arthur continued, Chani Felicite, you should behave yourself while I'm still being indulgent. Chani thought, speaking so loudly. He wants everyone to hear this conversation, doesn't he? Just a pretty face. If he feels at a disadvantage, he resorts to whispering. Pathetic. Arthur looked at her and continued, as if there's any other man in this empire who could be with you besides me. Chani retorted, please stop repeating the same thing. It's unbecoming. Suddenly, someone bumped into Chani's shoulder. It was none other than Luna. With feigned tears welling in her eyes, Luna whimpered, Sister, I'm so sorry. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I couldn't even hold this properly. Luna suddenly knelt down. Sister, please forgive me. The onlookers began to gossip. Isn't that young lady the adopted daughter of the Felicite family? What's going on? Can't you see? If she's been bullied before, she'll be treated the same way even in a place like this. Is that so? How pitiful. Why did she have to run into the Felicite witch? Chani found this all too predictable. Luna continued in a trembling voice, Sister, let me wipe the cake off your shoes. Chani spoke, what are you doing? Luna replied, what? I'm cleaning your shoes. Chani thought to herself, so Luna is the one spreading those wicked rumors. Arthur approached Chani and said, Duchess, Lady Rive didn't mean to do it, so please calm down. Chani thought to herself, that Siani must have been a fool to fall into a trap like this. But I'm not that Siani. Still, I have to maintain my own dignity. Public opinion is in an uproar because of that pitiful Luna, is it? Well, I'll give her a taste of her own medicine. Just like how I won't change my image, Luna, I'll give you something you can't change either. Chani turned to Luna's maid. What are you doing? Luna's maid stammered. Why yes, what is it, my lady? Chani continued. I clearly told you to correct Luna's habits. Why is she still like this? That habit of kneeling anywhere has resurfaced again. TSK. I taught her to uphold the dignity of the Felici family. Those present murmured amongst themselves upon hearing Chani's words. Oh my, it seems she still has the habits of a street urchin. But even if she was raised in the Duke's mansion, could she truly shed her low-born origins? At that moment, Eric arrived. Luna, get up quickly. Chani approached Luna. It seems you're quite skilled at setting traps like this from your time wandering the streets. And resorting to deceiving children, too. Truly a disgrace. Don't kneel so readily, Luna. You're not some pitiful orphan. Wherever you are, you must behave like a member of the Felici ducal family. Eric stared blankly, stunned. Chani asked, what are you staring at? Take Luna away. Eric. The scene shifted to the Emperor. Duke Romeo spoke, Your Majesty, I never expected you to personally escort my daughter like this. The Emperor chuckled. I said I would escort the Duchess, didn't I? Because I had to see her. Benio, standing nearby, thought to himself, now that I think about it, Duke Felici also seems curious about why the Emperor is doing this. What is the reason the Emperor had to see Siani Felici? Arthur must have sweet-talked her. She was head over heels for him. I'll get to the bottom of this later. Then Benio spoke, But Your Majesty, are you truly going to entrust the princess's education to Duchess Felici? The scene shifted to Arthur and Chani. Arthur said, Wait a moment, Duchess. Chani looked at him with disdain. What's wrong with this guy? I was planning to stay for the second part of the banquet to make a good impression on everyone. Thanks to Luna, this whole spectacle happened. If they want to keep harping on about the pitiful adopted daughter, they'll only end up resenting me. So let the rumor of the Emperor escorting me spread. It seems staying here is no longer necessary. It'll only tire me out. Arthur approached her. Wait, Duchess. The banquet has only just begun. Are you leaving already? She looked at him, thinking, it seems he's realized my intentions. Arthur Benio. Chani crossed her arms. Well, the banquet has been disrupted, so I imagine there will be something even more interesting to come. She pondered. The commotion earlier was also caused by the Felici family. The grand event of the Felici heiress being escorted by the Emperor. And what's the rumor that's been following Siani all this time? The red-eyed demon who killed her own mother at birth. That pitiful villainess, manipulating the gentle Arthur and Benio, just like the rumors said. And in the end, she's nothing more than the former fiancé, pathetically discarded by Benio. Instead of calling me the Empire's only Duchess, they call me by those nicknames. But what about today? I've become the center of this welcome back party for Arthur, and Benio has made everyone forget who this event is truly for. Thanks to Luna's deliberate disruption, today's events will become the subject of rampant gossip. And even if articles appear, Arthur's name won't be found anywhere. If that's the case, there's only one thing Arthur can accomplish here. compared to being escorted by the emperor or teaching noble etiquette to that pitiful adopted daughter. It's much easier to become the center of all the rumors and make a fool of myself. No matter what scheme is used, it will turn me into the woman desperately in love with Arthur. Just like in this ridiculous romance novel. I had intended to leave quietly, but if he keeps appearing like this, I can't just stand by and do nothing. Then, Chani replied to Arthur about the type of wine he mentioned. It seems you're mistaken. I've told you many times that I'm severely allergic to grapes. Arthur stammered, "You allergic?" Chani responded, "You've forgotten again. I once nearly fainted from red wine. It seems the lady who loves red wine this time isn't me. Is it, Lord Arthur Benio?" The scene shifts to Eric, who is speaking to his sister. "Luna, what's wrong with you? Why did you do that? Answer me. Why did you deliberately bump into Chani?" Luna replied, "Yes, I did it on purpose." Eric froze. "What? Do you know how awful you looked just now? Why did you do that, Luna?" Luna grew increasingly angry. "What? I looked awful. So, you bullying her is perfectly fine. Why are you allowed to do it, but I'm not?" Eric asked, "Why would you do something like that? I can handle those dirty tricks. What's wrong with you?" Luna snapped, "You're lying. Then you should have taken my side just now. Didn't you just stare at her face and drag me away?" Nearby, Arthur overheard and thought to himself, this party is a mess. These ill-mannered adopted siblings are still here, hogging the balcony. Such a pointless, low-class conversation. Meanwhile, Eric fumed. Luna arrived. Luna retorted, "What did I say wrong? You know it too. She's changed. She's become a completely different person. She's no longer the Chani Felicity who was locked up in my room until she nearly died. You only have eyes for that woman." Eric asked, "Luna, what's gotten into you?" Luna continued, "You think I don't know? You've been like this since we were little, like you were desperately trying to get the Duke's approval. You're only good at saying you'll work hard. You'll try. But what about in reality? You always only pay attention to her. You clearly want her approval more than the Duke's." Eric yelled, "Luna, arrive. Watch your mouth." Luna calmly challenged, "If you won't listen, then prove me wrong. Don't forget what I said in the carriage, brother. Don't lose the basement, whatever you do. You understand, right?" The scene shifted to Chani's perspective. Daisy exclaimed, "My lady, look at this. Today's magazines and newspapers are filled with your pictures. Oh my, just look. It's all about you, my lady." Chani picked up a newspaper. It seems to have spread like wildfire. Daisy continued, "And that's not all, my lady. I even heard that famous salons are designing dresses inspired by the one you wore." Chani brought a hand to her chin. "What do you think, Berman? There are articles about you too." Berman stammered, about that." Chani interrupted, "Never mind that. Let's discuss what we couldn't talk about earlier, shall we?" Meanwhile, elsewhere, a maid inquired, "Your Highness, what are you looking at?" The princess asked, "Who is this?" The maid curtsied, "That's Duchess Felicity, Your Highness. After attending the Grand Duke's son's welcoming banquet, she's become incredibly famous." The princess gazed at the image. So beautiful, so radiant. A goddess. She's a true goddess. The maid sounded surprised. Your Highness, didn't you say only His Highness could be called a god? How about calling the Duchess an angel or beautiful lady?" The princess suggested. No, she corrected herself. Not an angel, a true goddess. The scene cut back to Chani. "About what you said earlier," she began, "I'd like to hear more details." Berman asked, puzzled, "What are you referring to, my lady?" Chani smiled. "What else?" "The new fabric you mentioned." A flashback showed Chani approaching Berman. "What's your name?" "Your Grace." Berman replied, "I'm Berman Dietrich." Chani continued, Berman, your dress is quite unique. Despite the lack of a supporting structure, the skirt silhouette is perfect. What method did you use?" Berman hesitated. I used a new fabric I developed myself, Your Grace. The fabric itself is stiff and sturdy, so even without additional support, it can maintain the skirt's shape." Chani crossed her arms. "Oh, a new fabric." She thought to herself, "Even just hearing about it, I can tell this will be a moneymaker." The onlookers scoffed. "You probably couldn't afford high-quality fabric and substituted it with something cheap. What does a blockhead architect know about fabrics anyway? Does he even know what an evening gown is?" Chani thought, since time immemorial, an evening gown has to be truly beautiful and dazzling. A dress that shines even without embroidery or jewels, yet is less stiff than silk sleepwear. She approached the dress. "But this dress isn't beautiful at all. And look, everyone, this is a dress not just anyone can wear. It's like it was made specifically for me. Who else could pull this off? Back in the present, Chani chuckled. Your new fabric was ridiculed that day, Berman replied. Now it's become everyone's object of desire. It's all thanks to your grace. If you hadn't worn that dress, it wouldn't have received such attention. Chani thought, is he being modest or is he truly foolish? Among similar dresses, a fresh design and innovative silhouette are what create the impact. It's not just the convenience or the novelty, but also the sheer beauty of it. A single dress that fulfills all those desires. Only I could achieve this. Making him feel indebted to me isn't a bad thing, is it? Then she spoke. Berman, I have a proposition for you. I want my family to officially participate in the research and development of this new fabric with you. Berman stared blankly at the paper she offered. What? Chani explained. This is a contract. A contract stating that House Felici will support you, and you will officially become my designer. Berman was astonished. What? A designer for House Felici. That's too much, Your Grace. Chani said, to be precise, you wouldn't belong to House Felici, but you would be under my patronage. So what do you say? You don't want to. Berman stammered, No, it's not that. It's just you overestimate me. Just having someone as noble as Your Grace wear a dress made by someone like me. Chani cut him off. Is that so? All right then, just sign here. Berman remained bewildered. What? Chani asked. You don't want to. Berman still couldn't believe it. No, that's not it. How could I refuse? Your Grace was the first to recognize my talent. Chani continued. I already have grand plans. I want to go all the way with you, Berman. Aren't you the genius I've been searching for? Berman clenched his hands. If you have that much faith in me, I will give it my all. Chani said, good. Then sign it, Berman. Berman immediately replied, I will. Time flew by, and night fell. The gloves I ordered have arrived. It seems to be getting late. Ridian must be asleep by now. Suddenly, a voice called out, Your Grace, you've returned. Chani asked, Max, is everything all right? Muksh bowed. Yes, of course, Your Grace. I've maintained perfect order in your absence. Chani said, I have a task for you. Max responded brightly, Yes, Your Grace. Anything you command. Chani thought to herself, ever since I tamed Valentine, Max's behavior has changed. He must have observed the interactions between Eric and me and clearly sided with me. Then she started walking, saying, there must be documents containing the background information on the Nomas, right? Organize them and bring them to me. Looking at Max, she mused, he's clever and quick-witted. He can't be a bad person. Max replied, Yes, I'll prepare them immediately. Good. You don't need to follow me. Go and do your work. I'll be going now. Max said, What? But how can I leave you unattended? Allow me to accompany you. Chani asked, Goodness, are you disobeying my orders? Max anxiously replied, No, Your Grace. I'll go right away. I'll get to work. She then went to find Ridian. Even if she hadn't, it seemed Max had noticed Ridian sleeping on the floor. It's a bit old-fashioned, but I should probably move him to a room like the other Nomas. I need to give him a proper reward. She quickly arrived at her destination. Chani sat down, recalling Max's earlier words. Ah, right, you're going to see Ridian, aren't you? Chani asked, What is it? Max replied, There's nothing much, Your Grace. It's just that Ridian has been acting strangely lately. He's been training so hard that he's been exhausted these past few days, barely doing anything. He even recently asked me for sleeping pills. Watching Ridian, Chani thought to herself, why would he suddenly need sleeping pills? I've been giving him plenty of poison-laced candies. There aren't any visible injuries either, and his face is still angelic. His chest is incredibly well-defined, and his lower body. Wait, what is this? How did this happen? Why is he covered in these small wounds? They look like they were made by something sharp. Ridian suddenly grabbed Chani's hand and pulled her against his chest. Chani was taken aback. Ridian, it's me, Ridian. What's with this look in your eyes? Is it the after effects of the medicine? Ridian, are you all right? Ridian's gaze became strange as he spoke. You've finally come. You haven't changed a bit. Those eyes, they're just the same. Chani was bewildered. It was clearly Ridian's voice, but it felt drastically different. Ridian continued, I dream of you every night. I hoped the wounds all over my body wouldn't heal, so you would embrace me again. Because these wounds, they're the marks you left. Chani cried out, Ridian, let me go. Ridian replied, I don't want to. I told you, didn't I? No matter where you hide, no matter how far you run, it's useless. Because I will gather every inch of your skin, every fragment of your shattered soul. So I will definitely find you. Chani grew anxious. He's completely lost his mind. Ridian held her tightly. But why did you leave me? Why did you leave me alone for so long? You know how long I've waited for you. You know, Confusion welled up inside Chani. She was undeniably terrified, chills running down her spine. Yet this situation, this voice, wasn't entirely unfamiliar. What is this? Why does it feel so familiar? Chani asked, what suddenly come over you? Suddenly, Rydian coughed up a mouthful of blood, alarming Chani. Oh my god, Rydian, what's happening? Why is he coughing up blood? What's going on? Rydian, snap out of it. Rydian's voice trembled. Water, water. Please, give me some water. Chani immediately fetched him some. Rydian, are you alright? Can you hear me? Rydian's eyes slowly returned to normal. He asked, when did you arrive? Chani thought to herself, does he not remember anything from just now? Then she spoke aloud, what's wrong with you? What happened? Were those trainers bullying you? Rydian replied, no. Chani pressed further, so, did something like this happen at the training grounds before? Rydian answered no. Looking at him, Chani thought, judging by his attitude and the way he's answering, this isn't the first time this has happened. Could he have some incurable illness? Is there a time limit? Chani asked, since when have you been like this? Tell me the truth. Where does it hurt? Rydian was silent for a moment before saying, it's just, I often have this dream. Every time I dream it, I end up like this. Chani inquired a dream. What kind of dream? Rydian replied, I don't remember. Chani glanced at a nearby medicine bottle, thinking to herself, well, he's taking sleeping drafts, so it's probably just a side effect. Have I neglected him so much these past few days that he's hurt himself like this? Then she said, I told you to be careful. Are you going to cough up blood in front of me again? And what happened to your hands? Rydian looked at Chani's hands and asked, what happened to yours? Chani was taken aback. Huh, what? Rydian pressed, am I that kind of thing to you? Chani thought, well, yes, you are, but with that expression, how can I possibly tell him that? Hiding her hands, she said, I told you it wasn't your fault. Now answer my question. Why are you in this state after I've been gone for such a short time? Rydian said gravely, it wasn't short time. It might be a short time for your grace, but it's different for me. Chani was stunned into silence. Were you waiting for me? Rydian stammered, why would I wait for your grace? Chani thought, even if you hide your expression, you can't hide your embarrassment. Aloud, she said, your gloves are finished. I brought them to you as soon as I received them. It would have been much better if you had these before you injured yourself. Chani pondered, the situation seems stable for now, but no matter how I look at it, this is strange. Even poisoning wouldn't cause this much blood. He needs to see a doctor. She handed the gloves to Rydian. I've asked Max to call a doctor for you. You need to be examined. Rydian took the gloves, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. Chani asked, what's wrong? Aren't you going to try them on? Don't you like them? Rydian replied, I'm injured. I don't have the strength in my hands. Chani blinked. What? Does he want me to put them on for him? Is this what they call acting spoiled? Spoiled. He just coughed up blood. Of course he doesn't have any strength. And if he is acting spoiled, that's even better. It means he's relying on me a little more. Chani picked up the gloves. Consider yourself honored. Someone in my position doesn't usually touch anyone else's fingers. She gently began to draw the gloves onto Rydian's hands. Give me your other hand. Suddenly, Rydian asked, did you enjoy the party? Chani was surprised. The party? Ah, yes, it was quite interesting. He must be talking about Arthur's welcoming party. A performance by fools is always entertaining, but did I ever mention going to a party to Rydian? How did you know I went to a party? Chani asked. Rydian explained, I overheard some people talking. Chani thought, well, with all those carriages coming and going, it would be stranger if the people in the basement didn't know. Yes, she said, it was more entertaining than I expected. I enjoyed myself. There, all done. How do they feel? Rydian flexed his gloved fingers. Then Chani turned and left him. In principle, it's true that most of the Nomas in the basement perished. Only 4 survived. The protagonist, Rydian, Valentine, whom I met before, and also Francis and Inen. We only need to bring those 4 with us. As for the rest, if we don't want them to die here, we have to do something so they can escape alive. Siani asked, how is Valentine doing these days? Mux replied, Valentin. I don't know what he's thinking, but he just stays silent behind the bars. His silence is good, but it feels like the calm before the storm. As long as he behaves himself, as long as he doesn't get agitated, he probably won't cause any trouble. This is the first time in my life I've heard someone say he's well behaved, Siani mused. In principle, Valentine possesses an exceptional talent for mixing and concocting potions. If you ask how great that talent is, even someone with hundreds of years of experience like myself can't compare to him. Magic solutions, he can create them in no time at all. Didn't he turn one of those potions into a poison and assassinate his own siblings? So, wouldn't it be better if he used that ability in a different way rather than for poison? Then she said, there's a potion-making room in the research facility with various reagents and magic solutions. Correct. Max answered, ah yes. Besides the potion-making room used by the research team members, there are a few other places set up as backup rooms. Siani ordered, let him play there. Max was astonished. Play? Play how? What if he causes some kind of accident or blows something up? Siani said, just reinforce the barrier around the potion-making room. Don't remove the control collar, but instead of his neck, put on his wrist. Max replied, yes, Your Grace. For now, I'll do as you say. But did something happen earlier? Your Grace's wrist. Siani looked at her wrist, remembering the time she spent with Rudian. My secret present is truly wonderful, isn't it? It suits you very well, doesn't it? Rudian bowed his head. Thank you, Your Grace. Siani teased, so you do know how to say thank you. Rudian became haughty. What do you take me for, Your Grace? Siani giggled softly. Max asked, why are you laughing? Siani didn't answer, but laughed even louder. Time passed quickly. Siani was now in a family meeting. Is everyone well? Those present spoke in turn. Yes, yes. Your Grace, your complexion is looking healthier and rosier these days. Haha, lately everyone has been buzzing about Your Grace. Oh my, how did you manage to become such close acquaintances with His Majesty the Emperor? Siani smiled radiantly. I suppose everyone has had a good laugh. When I was young, you all should have encouraged me like this, shouldn't you? A dark-haired man turned to Siani and said, it seems Your Grace has some misunderstanding. While your father's position was vacant, we only employed a firm policy with you to protect the family. Siani replied, of course. I remember it very clearly, of course. The warnings you gave me. It must have been on my 12th birthday, which was also the 12th anniversary of my mother's death. That when I wore that black dress and held my birthday present, you sneered and said I had no taste, that an uneducated country bumpkin like me was a disgrace to the family. Those were your very words. So that's what a firm hand looks like for a 12-year-old, is it? Siani thought, watching the man's face pale. You'll resist, of course. Even if you beg, it won't be enough. There seems to be a misunderstanding. Your Grace, the dark-haired man, said anxiously. Siani crossed her arms. Then please enlighten me. I presume my father has already spoken to you. For the Duke's retainers to insult the princess is a grave offense. Regardless of whether their possessions and assets are seized, the punishment will be based on the wishes of Siani Felicity. I believe the Duke conveyed this to you. Siani mused, you all think I'm being unreasonable, while the Duke is the one who deserves sympathy. How ludicrous. She continued, however, I won't press charges against those who have diligently served our family for so long. The dark-haired man brightened. Unbelievable. You're so merciful, Your Grace. His relief was short-lived. Siani went on, however, this is a right my father granted me, so I can't simply ignore it. Though I tried to overlook it, I can't help but remember the trap the nobles laid for me. Those were the Duke's instructions. So what will you decide? Siani declared, I swore an oath in the name of Felicity. There's only one way to severely punish those who insulted the Felicity princess. It's a necessary procedure to protect the family, and I assume you're all aware of it. This isn't a formal meeting, so only a few family representatives were invited today. I'd like to rearrange the seating. Only those in the front row will participate in the next meeting. Astonishment rippled through the room. Wait, what do you mean? How can you disrupt the arrangements made by the Duke? Siani gestured to a servant, thinking, after all, the scum sitting before me are all Eric supporters. This is a good opportunity to shake things up. To the servant, she said, quickly, show them to their appropriate seats. The targeted individuals remained defiant. Get your hands off me. Who do you think you are? Let go. Get off me, you bastard. I want to see the Duke. Bring him here. How dare you treat us like this? Aaron observed the scene, thinking the princess has certainly changed. He recalled Siani's earlier conversation with her father. Yes, I agree with you. He mused, looking back. I made a mess of things by trusting and entrusting them with responsibility. Above all, Siani should handle this herself. I don't even have the right to apologize. This is truly shameful. Siani, thank you for understanding. Father, Siani said, we need to pull this weed out by the roots. Her father replied, no need for thanks. If we can resolve this, we'll be fortunate. Indeed, Siani responded. However, if we dismiss all the old, loyal servants, the opposition will only grow stronger. So, let's pretend nothing happened and keep Lord Abelo by your side. He's been with us for a long time, and his loyalty is unquestionable. Nothing will go wrong. Siani's father said, "Why that strange name?" "Ah, I understand. We can send Berman to the research facility, right? Speaking of that material, I think it would be excellent if we turn it into a bag." He looked at Siani, a thought flickering across his mind. Why am I so drawn to her gaze? Has she ever complained about my smoking? Siani replied, "Yes, I think so too. That fabric could prevent silk from wrinkling." Seeing her father put his pipe to his lips, Siani reached out and touched his hand. "Father," she said gently, "for your health, please try to smoke less." Her touch sparked a memory. He saw his former wife, her brow furrowed. "You must write more neatly," she'd chided. "This isn't the army, you know." The Duke had grumbled, "Damn it, it's difficult." His wife continued, "And you must be mindful of your behavior. Not just with me, but with others too. No one likes a bore." He pulled her close, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "I don't care," he murmured, "as long as my wife loves me. Don't you like me this way?" She laughed, a playful swat on his arm. "Goodness, we're working. Behave yourself. Just a little kiss," he'd pleaded. The Duchess had covered his mouth with her hand, a mock frown on her face. "Tobacco. You've been smoking again. You don't listen to me, do you?" She'd sighed. "Please, for your health, try to cut back." Back in the present, Siani saw her father lost in thought. "Father," she called softly. He blinked, as if startled. "You sound just like your mother," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "It seems I'll be very busy for a while." "Yes, father," Siani replied. "Then I'll excuse myself." As she left, Siani thought to herself, "That's the first time I've seen that expression on the Duke's face." He looked like he was about to cry. Returning to her room, she heard Daisy's voice. "Princess," the maid chirped, "I've prepared all the ingredients you requested earlier. Your ointment is incredibly effective, Princess," Daisy continued, her enthusiasm bubbling over. "And that's not all. All the new servants want to serve you. Becky asked me to thank you, too. Her skin has completely cleared up. You become quite popular lately. Of course, you know I enjoy serving you the most, right?" Picking up a newspaper, Siani thought, "It seems the rumors are spreading through the palace." A small smile played on her lips. "Of course I know," she said to Daisy, "and I'll make more ointment to share with everyone." To herself, she mused, such a small jar of ointment, and it's made them all so devoted. Daisy, despite her naivete, might sense something amiss. "Really?" Daisy exclaimed. "Everyone will be so happy. Where are you going to make the ointment with just these ingredients? Some of them are quite strange." "Ah, no," Siani replied smoothly. "I have another purpose for these." She considered her next words carefully. "These ingredients are for treating the queen's skin ailment. Rumor has it she used a magical stone, and that's what caused it. The king will summon me to the palace soon to discuss matters concerning the Belling district. I need to prepare an antidote before I go. The problem is, magic is required to remove the enchantment placed on the queen by that stone." Suddenly, a shout echoed from the hallway. "You can't go in there. The princess has forbidden any visitors." Eric's voice, insistent and demanding, followed. "What shady business are you conducting in here? Since when has this place been in use?" A flustered servant stammered, "I apologize, princess." It was a bit abrupt. Siani glanced over. It was that bothersome boy again. "If you have something to say it. I am Busa." Eric speaking, the boy began. "All the seating arrangements have been changed for the upcoming convocation." Siani sighed. "Is that all? You came all this way just to tell me that?" Eric ground his teeth in frustration. "Siani, why do you always have to act like this?" Why was he looking at her like that? "Your advice the other day," Eric continued, "it made me see you differently. Normally you just ignore us. But why did you do that? And lately, everything you do seems calculated. You want the king to notice you, don't you?" Siani retorted, "Fine, let's say you're right. Why would I think that way? Just because I said those things, you think I'm going to just leave?" Inwardly, Siani only wanted to escape the suffocating constraints of her title. Eric pressed her. "Then why are you gathering gold? From Berman to the Belling district, you're selling off your assets, aren't you?" Siani scoffed. This shrewd little brat. She was getting annoyed. "Well, if you were me, would you want to continue living here?" She asked icily. "You know how I'm treated in this house, don't you? So you think you have the right to invade my privacy? Do you have any idea what I go through every single day? Constantly watched by vultures, having brushed with death so many times. Even the gods seem to have given up on me. When will I ever have peace? Should I keep hoping my father will do something, or just keep dreaming of a peaceful life? I wish I could just die somewhere alone. Please, just let me go in peace. Snapping back to the present, Siani laughed. Have I been too kind and gentle lately? Did you think I'd forgotten all that? She thought to herself, this time I have to succeed. I will succeed, but what do I need to do to achieve that? Just make Siani successful. Then just take the money and leave, Eric said. Why do you have to bother the king? Or is it because of Rudian? Are you trying to curry favor with the king so you can free that nomad? One night you'll escape with him and you two will get married. That's what you want, isn't it? Siani's internal reaction was pure, unadulterated, oh my god. Not long after, Siani arrived at the basement. Mass approached her. Ah, princess, you've arrived. Where's Rudian? Siani asked. Mass replied, I thought he would kill the physician during the treatment, but surprisingly, everything went smoothly. He took painkillers, so his symptoms are better now. He's even quite strong. Siani crossed her arms. Really? But he coughed up blood. She thought, could it be a side effect of the mutation? Are you still planning to visit him today? Mass inquired. Siani recalled her conversation with Eric. I was going to visit him to discuss a few things, but that gossiping Eric ruined my mood. It would be even more troublesome if Rudian misunderstood, so I'll leave it for another time. No, Siani said. I won't visit him today. Mass looked puzzled. I understand. What would you like to do then? Siani replied, take me to the apothecary. Mass seemed hesitant. If we go to the apothecary, do you want to see Valentine? The scene shifted to Valentine, who was holding a pink potion bottle in his hand. Siani approached him, observing silently. He's been focused on concocting that elixir all day, she thought. He's truly absorbed, so much so, he hasn't even noticed me standing right here. She spoke. What are you doing here, Valentine? I asked you what that is, Siani pressed. Valentine replied, it's a love potion. Surprise flickered across Siani's face. A love potion. Since when have you been interested in love? She thought, then voiced, so if someone drinks this, they'll become infatuated. Are you planning to use it to make someone fall in love with you? What do you intend to do with that love potion? Siani persisted. Valentine answered, because I want someone to love me. Who? Siani demanded. Valentine hesitated for a moment before answering. That person. If I could win their heart, I wouldn't be chained down anymore. I would be valued and cherished. My father, too. He only valued and cherished his other son. If it's Valentine's father, it must be King Decio, Siani mused. Valentine continued, Father, you know why I had to kill you, right? Because I loved you so much, but I also wanted to be remembered by you. I'm glad I became your last memory. A twisted, dark love. Returning to the present, Valentine continued, so I want to try it on you. If you love me, I thought you would keep your promise to me. A promise. Siani's mind raced. Is he referring to our conversation that day? She lifted his chin. You want to return to your kingdom, don't you? Valentine replied, yes. Hands stained with blood. The eyes of a wild beast that knew only how to kill. But also a loyal dog later, because I have him by the throat, Siani thought. For Valentine, freedom isn't escaping these chains, but reclaiming his throne. She spoke, I had your magic suppressing collar removed. Why haven't you escaped on your own? Why plead with me? Let me guess. The moment you crossed the border between our kingdoms, you became a slave in all but name. You want me to restore your power, don't you? I can grant you a title, make you one of my knights. With a single word from me, you can return to the Decidio kingdom with impunity. What do I need to do for you? Valentine asked, what do you want? Siani replied, I hear you're learning to counteract magic. Can you create an antidote for the side effects of a certain magic stone? Valentine stood. I haven't had formal training, but as long as there's killing involved, I'll find the motivation to save someone. One more thing, Valentine added. Please treat me more kindly than you treat that Rudian. The scene shifted to Luna. Are you alright? I'm sorry, it was my fault. Her maid responded, actually, the princess wasn't entirely wrong, and I was only scolded a little. Luna hesitated. You don't hate me. I slapped you in front of so many people. The maid smiled. Why would I hate you? Besides, the princess had Daisy give me this ointment. The bruise will heal quickly. Luna offered a small smile. I'm glad. It seems my sister feels guilty too. The maid continued. Daisy told me the princess stayed up all night making it. She even made an extra jar for me. Should I give it to you? It would be very helpful. Luna smiled brightly. Really? You're giving it to me. Thank you so much. Inwardly, she thought you sly fox. Before, you were always bad-mouthing Siani, and now you're singing her praises. The maid took out the vial. Please, Miss Luna, take it. After all, it's just for the two of us, right? Luna took the vial. Thank you so much. Holding the vial, she thought, Siani, how could you trust this to someone else? What are the side effects? I'm really worried. The scene shifted to the princess. Uncle, Callias held the princess in his arms. You're getting more mischievous as you grow. Why did you all let her come here? I told you to watch her carefully. Escort her back immediately. Don't you want to see Moriana anymore, uncle? The princess asked. Callias replied, little one, next time you want to see me, just let me know beforehand. You don't need to come to the temple. Moriana suddenly spoke. Oh, by the way, uncle, have you seen the goddess? Callias asked, puzzled goddess. The maid anxiously explained, ever since she saw Princess Felicite's portrait, she's been saying she's seen a goddess. Callias's expression turned serious, and the maid became even more worried. Sir, please forgive us. The princess is still too young to understand what she's saying. Please forgive her. The princess spoke up. Uncle, everyone is scared because you're angry. The maid thought, no, that's not it. It's that sharp look in your eyes that truly frightens us. A voice echoed, my descendants, prepare for the return of the goddess. The spirits will guide you to know when I shall return. And when the goddess is reborn, the Rixen, Benio, and Felicite families will unite and rule Eunomia. The most powerful mage will appear. Callias said, I want to take a walk with the princess. You may all leave. The late princess was a mage. If Moriana can see the goddess, perhaps the time for her rebirth, as foretold in the prophecy, has come. Surely, Moriana is no ordinary child. Oh heavens, she's still too young to bear such a responsibility. Please, don't bestow any magic upon her. The princess said, Uncle, I want to pray too. Can I pray with you? Please, take away my uncle's worries, so he could be a good person and not so grumpy. Callias asked, oh, you little rascal, why would you say such a thing? The princess replied, stop it. Callias asked, perplexed, all right, but why do you call Princess Felicite a goddess? The princess innocently replied, oh, maybe because she's pretty. Callias retorted, just being pretty doesn't make someone a goddess, not even in your dreams. The princess said, what? That's weird. Callias continued, if you like Princess Felicite, you shouldn't call her a goddess. It could be dangerous for her. Are you asleep? You should listen when adults are talking. The princess mumbled, but you talk too much. And Princess Felicite takes care of my brother, so she really is a goddess. Callias thought, did she just say brother? At that moment, the emperor arrived. You little rascal, you're here again. I told you not to come to the temple. All right, let me take her. She's such a sweet little thing when she sleeps. But when she's awake, she's an absolute whirlwind of mischief. Hee, such a rascal. Callias spoke, Your Majesty, that child is protected by the goddess. Moriana mentioned it before. Do you have any thoughts? The late Princess Isel, perhaps her son, is still alive. The emperor replied, Isel's son, yes. If that child lives, he would be this little one's cousin. The scene shifted to Mass. He held a small box of medicine in his hand and went to see Rudian. The princess is truly kind. She's incredibly generous to him. After Rudian opened the door, Mass said, I was asked to bring you this ointment for your injuries and some of your favorite sweets. Mass looked at him in surprise. What's this? Rudian, smiling. Wait a minute. The princess is the most powerful person in the underground castle now. She's fond of the Noma people, and Rudian has caught her eye. I know she doesn't fully trust me yet. Getting close to Rudian would definitely benefit me later, right? But this guy is terrifying. Then Mass said, the princess is truly kind. I tried the ointment myself, and it's incredibly effective. Even Valentine, who burned himself while preparing the elixir, had his skin healed thanks to this ointment. Rudian's voice turned serious. What? Say that again. Mass felt a chill. What? Did I say something wrong? Rudian's eyes were sharp with a dangerous glint. Who did the princess give it to? Mass became anxious. What? Am I dead? He's going to kill me. Rudian asked, why are you telling me this? Mass's voice trembled. It just happened. Rudian continued, so the princess gave the ointment to that guy, right? Of course. The princess is a kind person, so don't misunderstand. Mass cried inwardly, no, it's not like that. You know the princess likes you the most, right? She even came here to watch you sleep. You know, I couldn't sleep last time, and the princess scolded me for not watching over you properly. The princess is a good person, but compared to what she's done for you, she's even better. What? Why are you so quiet? The atmosphere seemed quieter than before. Did I get away with it? Should I leave now? I have things to do, so I'll be going. Mass then hurried away, while Rudian continued to ponder, recalling what Siani had done with Valentine. So, I wasn't the only one who received something. The scene shifted to the Emperor. He said, I wish that child could live a peaceful life. Otherwise, what will I say to Isel? Callias thought to himself, Moriana is making me think too. She reminded me of Isel's son. The chances of that child being alive are slim, but could she have mistaken brother for father? But we can't completely rule out the possibility that Moriana might be a mage. The Emperor asked, Moriana is making you think. What did she say? Callias replied. She said she saw the goddess taking care of her brother. Ever since she saw the portrait of Princess Felicite, she's been calling her goddess as well. But why does she call her goddess? Because she's beautiful. The emperor chuckled after hearing this. The scene shifted to Siani and her father, the Duke. So what do you think, Siani? He asked. Do you have any plans for becoming the princess's tutor? Siani looked bewildered. What? Why would you ask that? Well, her father replied. Didn't His Majesty mention it at Benio's party? He said he wanted to entrust the princess to you. Not to mention, he even called you over to talk about it. Benio saw it too. Siani pondered. A tutor. What does the princess even like to do? Should we consider a different title for her? Because, unlike anyone else, the princess has a mischievous personality, always sitting with her legs crossed like she owns the world. Countless maids have been hurt and cried so much because of her stubbornness. After a pause, she concluded, I'm sure the princess wouldn't like me. And of course, I don't have time to babysit. The Duke bit his lip, recalling his conversation with Daisy, Siani's maid. Aren't you Siani's maid? Where is she? Daisy replied. Oh, sir, the princess is currently visiting the apothecary. The Duke questioned the apothecary. Where is that? Daisy answered. It's where the princess makes ointments. Lately, she seems very focused on creating a new type. The Duke was surprised. That child, why is she having such grown-up thoughts? Daisy said, let me show you the way. The Duke turned away. No need. I don't want to disturb her. Daisy, worried, gathered her courage and spoke, Sir. I'm being a bit presumptuous saying this, but even though she's been tormented while staying here, the princess has maintained her innocence. She's been staying up all night making ointments for us. And the princess has never forgotten what happened in this mansion. She was very excited about the party that day. Oh, and she even gave you a carefully packaged jar of ointment decorated with flowers. So what I mean to say is, the Duke finished her sentence. You want me to pay more attention to her? Daisy replied, yes. I apologize for my presumption, but this is the only way to make the young Miss happy. Back in the present, he gloomily thought to himself, Siani, how could she think the princess, whom she's never even met, would hate her? I'm so pathetic for letting her have such thoughts. As a father, I have a responsibility to care for and support my daughter. What should I do? Aloud, he said, Siani, lately you've been helping me with some paperwork, and it's given me more free time. Tell me anything you'd like, and I'll provide it for you. Siani smiled. I've always wanted to ask you for something. She thought to herself, here it comes. The Duke, meanwhile, thought, I wonder what she'll ask for, but it'll probably be easy. Siani continued, the nomads beneath the castle. I want a few of them to become my personal guards. Siani's father's face darkened at her words. Siani became worried. Is that too much to ask? She added, Father, I'd really just be looking after them. Besides, those people haven't even received proper training. Not to mention, the day I went to the underground castle with Eric, Rudian was still asleep after being given a sedative. The next time I saw him, he was being beaten half to death by a jailer. She thought to herself, to free him, I must first reorganize the castle's management. She continued aloud. Currently, Eric is reviewing all the personnel in the underground castle, keeping only those truly essential for its operation. So, Father, please grant me absolute authority to manage that castle. The nomads imprisoned there possess genuine talent. The Duke waved a dismissive hand. Enough. I know you've been overseeing Rudian without incident. Naturally, you'll continue to do so. As you said before, if those nomads receive proper training, they could become quite dangerous. But I made a promise to your mother. I can't allow them to roam free in this world. Siani pressed her point. But Father, I'm only asking for them to serve as my personal guard. Siani thought, he seems tormented. Could it be guilt over confining them below? If so, all the better for me. The Duke said no. Ask for something else. Siani replied, no, Father. I have another solution. Simply have them wear masks, and no one will recognize them. The Duke looked up. That way, their faces won't be revealed. But Siani, do you really think simply masking those violent individuals will make them inconspicuous? Siani stood abruptly. I've already removed Rudian's shackles, so he can practice his magic. And Valentine, I sent him to the apothecary instead of keeping him locked up, so he could freely concoct his medicines. I've spent time with both of them without masks or weapons, and I'm still perfectly intact. It's the jailers who are the true villains, brutalizing them. Everyone calls them monsters, so they're forced to behave accordingly. Who do you think turned them into monsters, Father? Siani thought, I feel so suffocated. My heart still aches when I remember it. My memories of imprisonment are filled with eternal darkness, enduring gnawing hunger every day, helplessly scratching at the floor with skeletal fingers, hoping for a single drop of water. driven by the will to survive. I even ate moldy bread. I wanted to live, no matter how wretched my existence. Was it life's test to see how much I could endure? Life is so cruel. In that world, I had to kill for a piece of bread. There, I was called a monster, a filthy parasite. Unlike now, in my past life, I endured all of that. But why did I have to suffer so much? How can I feel anything but resentment pretending to be this man's daughter? But why do I suddenly feel this empathy for the nomads? Calm down. Nothing will change. Hearing the Duke's voice, Siani responded, "Yes, I'm fine. Could you let go of my hand?" Siani then departed, leaving him lost in thought. Siani, she's concerned for those nomads. The scene shifted to Siani. Berman asked, "Where's this place?" "A dungeon." Siani replied, "It's fine. Just consider it the laboratory of the Felicite estate. You will create 4 masks for my 4 guards. Today, we'll take measurements for the first one." Before Siani left, her father, the Duke, had said, "If you're determined to do this, I want to meet Rydian first. To ensure your safety, can he remain calm while wearing a mask?" "I'm not sure if that's possible." Back in the present, Berman hesitantly spoke, "A mask. Making one isn't the problem, but..." Siani paused, thinking to herself, "I can't call him by his real name. No one can know about his existence. A usable name, Rere, Day. Rydian emerged from inside, asking, "Who's Day?" Berman, seeing him, exclaimed, "Oh my, I can't believe it. Magnificent. A perfectly proportioned face, a flawless physique. I've always wanted to take his measurements. He's like a living statue." Rydian asked, "Who is that?" "Is that person named Day?" "What a strange name." Siani stepped forward. "You Day." Rydian looked surprised. "What?" Siani continued, "I'm calling you that on purpose. It's a secret only we know. Outsiders won't understand. It's like a code name." Rydian said, "Seriously, what a childish name." Siani thought, he's pouting. How cute. Such a child. Then she said aloud, "Rudy, no Day. Understand. I'll call you Day when others are around. Didn't I tell you before? I'll get you out of here." Seeing Rudy in silence, she thought, no response. I thought he'd be thrilled. Siani continued, "Didn't you hear me? You can leave." Rydian asked alone. Siani was taken aback. Rydian stepped closer. Are you kicking me out alone?" Siani asked, "Are you afraid to leave?" Rydian replied, terrified, "Of course I'm afraid. And please don't make me go alone." Siani looked at him, thinking, so cute like a kitten. Strange. In the story, he was always trying to escape the underground castle. She reached out a hand. "Of course, I still need you here. You don't have to leave. Cheer up. You'll only be going out for a bit, but you have to stay by my side and wear a mask. I thought you wanted to go outside. Are you scared?" Rydian took Siani's hand. "No, it's not like that. I'm just afraid to be alone. Besides, the princess swore to protect me." Looking at Rydian, she thought, but Rydian, shouldn't a guard protect the princess, or rather, their master? This is odd. According to the novel, there was once a beautiful humanoid goddess named Venus who fell in love with a young man. He must have been incredibly handsome to capture the heart of the goddess of beauty. The young man's name was Mars, and Mars was actually the god of war and destruction. He was a half-demon. Mars always wore a black mask when he was still a half-demon, so Venus never realized the cruel truth. He hid his inner beast, only showing his beauty and courtesy to Venus. That's romantic. A half-demon only showing his good side to the goddess. These two have something in common with that story. Here you go, princess. Siani took the mask. Excellent. 10 out of 10. Looking at the mask, she thought, I'm being a bit dramatic, but it really is beautiful. It should fit perfectly. Then, her voice clear and steady, Siani declared, I'm quite pleased with it. Could you create 3 more, identical to this one? And the uniforms as well, if you please. Bomer bowed his head. Of course, my lady. Consider it done. I shall do my utmost. Siani nodded. I'm counting on you. Lost in thought, she mused, Rydian alone isn't enough to sway father. I'll have to gamble. Her gaze sharpened with determination. There's a festival approaching, followed by a demon hunt. It's the perfect opportunity for them to demonstrate their capabilities. Ensure the attire is suitably impressive. The demon hunt, a prestigious event where knights and guard from across the land gathered to test their mettle against monstrous foes. Victory not only brought honor to the individual knight, but elevated the standing of their entire house. It was indeed a perfect opportunity. The scene shifted to the Duke, a troubled frown etched on his face. We have a standing army, yet not a single one is fit to participate. He turned to his daughter, his voice laced with expectation. Siani, what are your thoughts on this matter? Siani remained silent, her expression unreadable. A nearby attendant wrung his hands, anxiety etched etched on his features. He's growing impatient. Whatever the princess is planning, this silence won't help. He cleared his throat, addressing the Duke. My lord, I believe this presents a unique opportunity. The Felicite family hasn't been perceived favorably of late. He lowered his voice, a hint of bitterness coloring his words. Not to mention the rumors, the whispers about the child who lost her mother, the one who drove her father to the battlefield, the cunning manipulator who bewitched the prince, the red-eyed sorcerer. He straightened, meeting the Duke's gaze. Why should we endure such slander? Let us seize this opportunity to restore our family's honor. Let us remind them of our strength. The Duke stroked his chin, considering. You make a compelling argument. Very well, I shall deploy the troops. Siani's voice, sharp and decisive, cut through the air. No, father. Haven't we kept a low profile since mother's passing? Avoided unnecessary displays of force. Her eyes flashed with conviction. Besides, those soldiers are trained to fight men, not demons. Sending them would only invite humiliation. Father, the privilege of the strongest that belongs to us, the Felicite family, and us alone. Her voice softened, a hint of longing in its depths. I want this. Lost in thought, she pondered, what kind of man was Count Romeo Felicite? A decorated soldier, a man of action, yet also a man burdened by a heavy heart. A man who raised 2 children, not his own, as his own flesh and blood. And because of that, I was cast aside. The thought stung, fueling her resolve. If I can achieve the same level of admiration, prove the strength of my forces, the rewards will be substantial. Her mind raced. He built the underground castle. He knows the nomad's power. This is a gamble, but it's the only way to change his mind. Siani's voice rang with newfound confidence. I will prove the Felicite name is synonymous with strength. Give me this chance. Give my guards this chance. The Duke's hand tightened around the armrest of his chair, his knuckles white. Then, a booming laugh erupted from his chest. Ha! You truly are your father's daughter. I'm delighted to see such ambition. Indeed, the Felicite family is the strongest. Siani watched him, a flicker of doubt in her eyes. Just as I planned, but perhaps he's a bit too enthusiastic. As the Duke continued his self-congratulatory monologue, time seemed to accelerate. Siani, overlooking the scene from above, a thoughtful expression on her face, murmured, just how many are there in that group? Romeo arrived as well. How many are in your guard detail today? Siani turned to ask, Father, why are there so many guards outside? The Duke replied, didn't we already agree on this? Don't worry, I've deployed them to keep an eye on you and ensure your safety. But why so many? Siani questioned. The Duke's tone grew serious. Listen, Siani, with someone as strikingly handsome as Rudian, you need to be even more cautious. Don't let appearances cloud your judgment. And certainly don't forget that men are often wolves in sheep's clothing. Siani responded, but he's still young. The Duke inquired, so, at that moment, someone approached. Princess, the carriage is ready. Siani turned to the Duke. I'll be going now. The Duke replied, yes, be careful. He watched her go, recalling her words. The ones who turn them into monsters, who does she think that is? A moment later, Siani reached the carriage. Luna appeared suddenly. Sister, Luna, where are you going? Siani asked. Luna replied, I just went to the pantry to get some ingredients. The festival is coming up, and I wanted to make a dessert for everyone. Siani inquired, you're making it yourself. Why not ask a servant for help? Luna laughed. My servant has been ill lately. Besides, I wanted to get some fresh air. Siani thought to herself, it's been a while since I've seen her since that banquet. I thought she might be uncomfortable seeing me, but she seems surprisingly cheerful. Aloud, she said, if that's the case, you should inform the steward. If you keep going to the pantry without permission, the pantry steward will be in a difficult position. Luna responded, thank you for the advice, sister. By the way, I heard you're going out tonight for the festival. Siani asked, how did you know? Luna replied, I overheard the guards talking about it this morning. It seems everyone is very interested in your activities. Siani continued, you should go inside now. Luna bowed her head slightly. Yes, it's quite hot today, so be careful that your food doesn't spoil. Their eyes met, holding each other's gaze for a moment before Luna gracefully moved past. Siani was suspicious, but why was she carrying that basket? The scene shifted to the palace. The emperor spoke. Princess Felicite's guards will be participating in the demon hunt. Caelius questioned, not the family's guards, but the princess's personal guard. The emperor nodded. Indeed, the minister of magic was quite surprised by that. I was as well. She's quite something. Good. I was initially unsure of a suitable reason to invite the princess to the castle. Callias asked, a hint of doubt in his voice. So, the princess will be participating in the demon hunt. The emperor replied, yes, rather intriguing, isn't it? Would you like to participate? He thought to himself, if this were before, Callias would have refused outright. He would have seen it as a frivolous game, and he detests such places. But Callias said, I will participate. The emperor continued, well, you needn't. He stopped abruptly. What? What did you say? Callias crossed his arms. I want to meet this princess myself. The scene shifted back to Siani. She said, someone will be joining me. We'll stop here for a moment to wait for them. The servant replied, yes, princess. A short while later, Rudian arrived. Does the mask make him look more elegant than usual? If the Mars of legend was like this, wouldn't Venus have fallen for him at first sight? Would she forgive his lies because of his handsome face? Ugh, what am I even thinking? Rudian approached and said, Princess, take my hand. Siani said, no, and stepped down herself. I'm so stupid. Why am I so flustered? Where am I even going? I'm so embarrassed, I can't even look Rudian in the face. Is this the first time I've been this bold? Thankfully, the weather was beautiful. I thought it would rain, but it's quite warm and clear. We should head back when the sun sets, right? Rudian asked, who are you talking to? Blushing, she thought, I'm talking to you. Rudian continued, everything feels strange to me, princess. From the scenery and the sky to this mask. It's rather uncomfortable, though. I wouldn't wear it if you hadn't ordered me to. So please, look at me and speak, master. Siani was surprised. What? What did you just say? Rudian stepped closer. From now on, I will only consider you my one and only master. Siani then boarded the carriage. Recalling past events, she thought, he called me master. Does that mean he considers me stronger than him? Is that really true? Looking out the window, Rudian asked, why did you bring me here? What do you plan to do with me during the festival? Siani replied, you will be very useful to me in the future, my knight. However, you must fulfill your duties. Rudian questioned, fulfill my duties. Siani continued, you must obey my words and carry out any of my commands. You must protect me and be present when I need you most. Sitting up straight, Rudian said, I can't promise that. You said you would protect me, that you would grant me any wish. Siani thought, did I say that? I don't remember saying that. Right, I can't deny it. Good heavens, this pretty-faced man has quite the memory. These two are testing me. Judging by his expression, he doesn't seem inclined to refuse. Siani smiled. You don't like it. Become in my guard. Rudian quickly replied, no, I like it very much. If that's the case, then can I become your master? Is that all right? Siani was taken aback. What? When he was the crown prince, he was naturally the master of the entire kingdom, so it's not entirely wrong. This man is truly troublesome. The driver spoke up. We have arrived, princess. Rudian extended his hand. Siani stepped on his foot and walked past him. No, I am your master. If you answer sincerely, I might reciprocate. Clutching his foot, Rudian muttered, always so arrogant. He then stepped down from the carriage and said, yes, master. Siani then took Rudian's hand. Once inside, Rudian asked, where is this? Why do we have to come here? Siani replied, I told you, I only do what's best for you. Rudian said, but I don't need to wear this. Siani asked, do you even know what this is? She tugged at Rudian's cloak, thinking, does he think I brought him here to pick out jewelry? Then she said, put your cloak on properly and follow me. And please stop pulling at it. I'll do as I please. Just then, someone approached them. Excuse me, honored guests. Only customers with a prospective client card may enter this establishment. We kindly request that you leave so that other customers may continue their shopping. Siani thought, the hierarchy salon. It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh well, I have something I need to buy today. Then she said aloud, it has been a while, manager. So, may we enter now? The manager's demeanor instantly shifted upon seeing Siani. Princess Felicite, how long has it been? I saw you in the fashion magazines. Hearing this, Siani thought, Benio's party really did make a splash. They would have ignored me before. What are you all doing just standing there? Princess Felicite is here. Quickly, prepare tea and sweets for the princess. Princess, I will escort you to the VIP room. The onlookers began to murmur amongst themselves. Who is that? Princess Felicite, the one from the fashion magazines. Remember Benio's party the other day? His Majesty personally escorted her there. My goodness, what is Princess Felicite doing here? Is she buying jewelry? I want to buy that too. Rudian, overhearing the whispers, glanced down at his gloves and remained silent. The manager approached and inquired, "Princess, what are you looking for?" Siani replied, "I want the Bouve Fronting." The manager was taken aback. "What? How do you know about that?" "Bouve Fronting, that's the code name for a magic shop, famous in the stories for selling magic swords. Well, boys like swords, so I'll get him one. Besides, I promised to protect him. Sending him on a demon hunt without a decent weapon would be like sending him to his death. I have to build rapport slowly. I'll test the waters by giving him a new sword." Siani turned to Rudian. "How long are you going to make me wait? Show me the way." The manager quickly responded, "Yes, of course. I'll lead the way. If you go straight ahead, you'll meet the summoner. I can't go any further." Siani stated, "All right, I'll go myself." "Come on, Riri." Rudian followed behind her, commenting, "You seem to be quite popular. Everyone seems to like you." Siani replied, "Of course they do. I've been in plenty of fashion magazines." Rudian continued, "Then shouldn't you be the one wearing a mask, not me?" Siani started, "I would, but..." Suddenly, a voice echoed, "Everything here is an illusion." Siani gasped, "Oh, that's the shop owner, the summoner." The summoner approached them, saying, "If you tell anyone else about this place, they'll think you're mad." Looking at him, Siani thought, "It's like a taboo. I wonder what would happen if I accidentally revealed this place." Siani replied, "I understand." The summoner continued, "Good. Please come in. I'll show you the way. I apologize, knight, but only the one purchasing the sword may enter. You'll have to wait a moment. Is that all right?" "If you insist." Siani turned to Rudian. "If you wait here for me, I'll buy you your favorite candy as a reward." Rudian replied, "I don't like it." "Good," Siani said, then followed the summoner. "So, what are you looking to purchase?" Siani glanced around. "I'm searching for a sword with an attack power stronger than the teeth of a Slay Drakatani, more durable than the tail of a Paphenia, and imbued with a knight's oath." The summoner inquired, "Are you searching for that legendary sword? Perhaps you'd be interested in King Lablof's sword. It's quite renowned, also known as the Cruel Claw." Cruel Claw, Siani thought. That's the sword Rudian will receive when he becomes crown prince. He hasn't earned it yet. Aloud, she said, "I don't think it's suitable for my knight." The summoner continued, "Then how about this?" With a snap of their fingers, a sword materialized, hovering in midair. "This is King Revel's sword. It would suit your knight well." Siani was taken aback. Why does their voice suddenly sound like a child's? Or perhaps they don't want to reveal their true form. The summoner took the sword in hand. It's also called the Serpent's Tongue. It will fulfill all your requirements, and it carries the oath of a spirit. Would you like a closer look? Siani replied, "Certainly. It's quite unusual looking. I believe it's the first sword I've seen with a hilt this deep red, almost black." The summoner continued, "Yes, that's why I said it would suit your knight. Not to mention, the color seems to match his eyes." "What do you mean by that?" Siani's tone grew serious. "Are you mocking me? You know black pupils are a symbol of demons. How dare you?" The summoner responded, "I'm terrified, princess. I can't even see your knight's face clearly." Siani was startled. It's changed form again. The summoner transformed into a wisp of white fire. "You have the air of a goddess who sealed a demon. There's only one way to seal a demon. The goddess must vanish from this world. The demon split a part of its soul to merge with the goddesses. Thus, they have lived and been reborn for thousands of years. Ah, love is a shared grave. It suits that story well. Is that so?" Siani questioned. The summoner continued, "You remind me of the goddess who captivated a demon's heart. That's why I suggested this sword. The price is 2 large bags of money, or just a lock of your hair." Siani was taken aback. "A lock of my hair, or money?" The summoner replied, "Indeed. It seems like a bargain for you. I don't know why it's making this offer," Siani thought, "but I'll never give it my hair. Unfortunately, I will never trade anything for my body. Here, I'll pay with money." A while later, Rudian, "You've been waiting a long time. This gift will be bestowed upon you once we return to the mansion." He hasn't moved from that spot this whole time, Siani thought. "Why aren't you answering me? Do you like that painting?" Rudian looked at the painting. "Yes, it's beautiful." Siani was surprised. "Beautiful? I suppose in an abstract way." She took Rudian's hand and led him away. "You might not know, but there's a festival tonight. Let's hurry. There will be many interesting things to see." Rudian softly replied, "Yes." Time flew by, and evening arrived. "Riri," Rudian observed, "it seems the festival has begun. Look at the sky." The sky was filled with floating lanterns, a breathtakingly romantic and beautiful sight. Siani's eyes widened. "It's truly beautiful." "Rudian, are you watching?" Siani asked. "Yes, I am," Rudian replied. "Back in the castle beneath the earth, all I could see were 4 walls. It was difficult to tell how much time had passed. It was such a dull, empty, and dreary existence. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Ridian continued. That's how I used to be. But ever since you brought me up to the surface, my eyes have been opened. My heart is pounding fiercely, as if the human part of me was imprisoned for so long, and now freed, it rejoices. Siani asked, surprised, really? You have feelings too? Ridian responded, because I am human too. Found it. Siani exclaimed. At the famous sweet stall. Come on, Didi. If we walk too slowly, we'll get lost. Ridian worried. The crowd. If we're not careful, we could get separated in this crowd. Look, Didi, they're selling your favorite candy. I don't like it, Ridian stated. Siani countered what? But you used to eat the candy I gave you, and you looked so happy while eating it. Ridian suddenly asked, what does the sky taste like? What about love? What does love taste like? Didi, do you want to try it? Ridian then asked, do you like candy? Siani replied, me. No. Do you think I'm still a child? Ridian continued, then I don't either. Siani laughed. What are you thinking? Ridian frowned, thinking to himself, where have you ever seen a grown child like me? Suddenly, shouts erupted. Please make way. Make way for Prince Bio's knights. Those present grumbled. Just for that, they're ruining the festival atmosphere. Oh dear, what's all the commotion? Ridian asked, what's going on? It seems there's a crush here. Siani called out, Didi, come here. A man pushed past. Excuse me, I'll just be going through. The atmosphere became chaotic. Hey, stop pushing. I didn't mean to. Why are you angry with me? Oh my goodness, stop shoving. Damn it, I have to stay calm, Siani thought, struggling to maintain composure. Ridian panicked, unable to see Siani. I don't know when it happened, but I've lost her. Where are you? He murmured, Princess. The scene shifted to Siani. Is the princess unconscious? Someone asked. It's possible. She fell pretty hard. Siani, dazed, thought, why is this happening? Is this a mandatory trope in romance novels? I should have brought a weapon for self-defense. The kidnappers spoke amongst themselves. But is this the right person? Someone said she was wearing a cloak. Of course, she's royalty, the emperor's daughter. Siani was taken aback. The imperial princess. You fools have the wrong person. The wrath of Felicite the sorceress begins now. How dare you betray us? We supported you, helped you become a maid for the princess. But now that you've achieved your goal, you're turning against us. That's why you can't treat those beneath you with kindness. As she was struck, Siani thought, it's been a while since I felt the sting of a beating like this. Siani didn't deserve this, even if many disliked her. The kidnappers muttered amongst themselves. Hey, when's the young master getting here? Another replied, I don't know. Probably taking care of some business first. Siani thought that young master must be the inside man in the palace. And why does this lunatic keep stepping on me? Really? Well, keep watch then. I'll teach this little girl a lesson before the young master returns. Hey, don't get carried away. We'll be in big trouble if she dies. Shut up and just keep a good lookout. How can these kidnappers not even know what their target looks like? Even if they didn't know her face, they should have some idea. I spent way too much money at Benio's party. This hurts. Didi, Desi, are you two there? The lead kidnapper called out. Desi, don't you know what kind of situation you're in? Siani smoothed back her hair. I think you're the one who's clueless here. The kidnapper roared, you little brat. You must have had too much to drink at the palace and forgotten everything. He suddenly stopped. Ben, Ben, you didn't even check her face before drugging her. Siani thought, my opponents are these two muscleheads. No matter what I was like in my past life, in Siani's body, I can't take them both on at once. It's a good thing Father assigned so many guards to watch over me. They'll find me here soon. Then she spoke aloud, look again, blonde hair and red eyes. Do I really look that much alike? The one in green paled. Red eyes. Don't tell me. Siani grabbed his throat. That's right, Felisa. Whoever your young master is, he can't stop me. The scene shifted to Benio. While the guards are causing a commotion, we'll kidnap one of her maids. Then you can step in and save the princess and the maid. Understand? Ether asked incredulously what? You're forcing me to do this. Benio replied, it seems you don't like it. So what should we do? We can't let the Felisa family get closer to the royal family than we are. Do you think His Majesty asked Siani to be the princess's tutor without reason? Ether asked, then why don't we find our own solution? It's better to maintain our alliance with the Felisa family than with the royal family. Benio asked, you sound confident. Do you have a plan? Ether answered, the way to stop the Count from interfering in our affairs is through his daughter, Siani Felisa. Don't you agree, Father? Benio continued, are you planning to win Siani's heart? Ether wore a confident expression. What are you talking about? That's not the Siani we're talking about. She's been under my control for a long time and will always be dependent on me. Huh, I thought you completely misunderstood, Ether. Princess Siani's gaze at the welcoming party didn't seem to hold any affection for you. I don't want to dampen your spirits. It's just that people have been talking a lot about Siani lately. I also wish she would be my daughter-in-law, no matter the cost. Meanwhile, Ether rode his horse, lost in thought. Her Highness usually takes this route. Why isn't she here today? Suddenly, he spotted someone and dismounted, announcing, Ether Benio, request an audience with Her Highness, the Princess. Siani stared back, bewildered. Ether pressed on. For your safety, having heard of the kidnapping attempts, I've dispatched numerous guards to protect you. No one will dare touch the princess. A maid approached, questioning, what do you mean? How did you know we were here? Siani echoed the confusion. Are you crazy? Ether thought to himself. Only one maid accompanies the princess. That means the kidnapping must have succeeded. But why are they acting like this? Forcing a smile, he said, I heard that one of your maids was just abducted. The maid asked, are you talking about Rania? She just gone to buy some sweets. At that moment, Rania returned. Your Highness, thankfully they still had the sky-flavored candy you like. Siani muttered under her breath. Is this guy insane? Rania, seeing Ether, exclaimed in surprise, why is the prince here? Ether's face darkened. Then, who was kidnapped by my father's men? The princess's maid pressed him. Your Highness, could you explain what you mean? Ether forced another smile. I heard from my father that the princess's maid was in danger, so he sent me and the guards to protect Her Highness. He worried inwardly. Damn it, why am I having to explain myself like this? Siani stepped forward. So, who was kidnapped then? I like to see this kidnapping for myself. Meanwhile, Siani's guards were in a frenzy. Everyone, urgently search for Her Highness. Arms at the ready. Prepare to find the princess. Search every nook and cranny. Split into groups of 4. Ridian grabbed a guard. Give me that. Give me your gun. Anxiety gnawed at him. She hasn't been gone long. If I leave now, I can still find her. There's an alley near where she was last seen. It's hidden from view, so I need to go there now. The kidnappers won't have had time to cover their tracks. I can use them to find her. The trail ends abruptly. In here. Just then, 2 kidnappers opened the door. We grabbed the wrong girl. Ridian, seeing them, felt a surge of fear. Blood. Did they kill her? As the kidnappers spoke, a bullet whizzed past, killing one instantly. In a flash, Ridian had his gun pressed against the remaining kidnapper's head. Did you kill her? The kidnapper stammered, terrified. What do you mean? The woman, Siani, fell aside. I asked if he killed her. The kidnapper panicked. Damn it, what do I do? He's making me take him to where the princess is being held. If the young master finds out, he'll kill me. But if I don't listen to this guy, I'm definitely dead. Arriving at their destination, the kidnapper pointed. She's in there. Ridian rushed forward, his heart pounding. Princess. He threw open the door to find Siani, fuming. That's right, you're nothing but trash. Apologize to me this instant. A young man in green robe sobbed. Please, I'm so sorry. Siani started when she saw Ridian. Didi, Yureyer. You must have been so worried when I suddenly disappeared. Ridian didn't say anything, but took Siani's hand and pulled her into a hug. Didi, Siani asked, is it really you? Ridian replied, yes, it is. Are you hurt anywhere? Ridian asked. Siani replied, I'm fine. You found me faster than I expected. I trusted in you. Didi, so please don't cry anymore. All right, enough sentimentality. You wouldn't believe it, but there's a spy in the palace. Someone sent her. The spy has green eyes and blonde hair. More importantly, Siani continued, it seems the mastermind behind these imbeciles is quite young, as they call him Young Master. It shouldn't be too difficult to uncover his identity. Siani stepped towards the man in green, able to plant a spy within the palace. House Vesker is wealthy, but has no connections to the royal family. House Eclipse has its grievances with the palace, but they have no one young enough to be called Young Master. Let's see, could it be Ether Benio? The man in green's face darkened. No, you misunderstand. Princess. He's from the Vesker family. Siani laughed. Bingo, it's Benio. There's no such family as Vesker or Eclipse. Meanwhile, the other kidnapper ran, thinking, thank goodness that idiot stalled them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have escaped with my life. I need to report back to Young Master. I also need to tell him about the red-haired witch of Felicite and her schemes before it's too late. He recalled his earlier conversation with Siani. I am a Felicite. Whoever your young master is, he cannot stop me. The kidnapper spoke anxiously. Princess, there seems to be a misunderstanding. We should talk this out. Siani continued. You don't care about your friend's life. All you can say is, I'll tear this man to shreds. The kidnapper pleaded, but have you ever killed anyone, princess? Please, let's just talk. We're just commoners. Siani asked, who said I've never killed anyone. Don't you know I only need a tooth and a tongue to curse someone? The fleeing kidnapper thought. I ran, but I was caught almost as soon as I left. If I don't get out of here soon, that witch will curse me. If I tell the prince, surely he can find a way to save me. Just then, he ran into Benio. Hello, young master, he began, but his words were cut short by a flash of a blade. Ether clicked his tongue. Dispose of the body before her highness sees it. That's all for today, folks. If you enjoyed this, ring the bell to get notified as soon as possible. Don't forget to recommend some interesting stories to me. Thank you for watching.